Somewhere a dragonborn eye
We
twitches.
never really did talk about how we came up with that name in this version of the group.
We can keep it the same.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I just don't know. I just like it's like, what's the story?
we could still say that
Like,
there was a
what's the-
Malcolm involved, and
Oh right, I guess we did talk about like that.
yeah. But we'll give shit a moment to get in here. But we are live, so welcome everyone. Group 2 back at it again. Bad Decisions Reloaded. This
Bad
is
decisions too.
bigger,
Extra
longer,
bad
and
decisions.
worse decisions. But I'm glad to be back with you guys. Glad to get this this campaign back underway and rolling yet again. Have some fun and ensue all the chaos and regret that all good D&D is made out of. Oh yes. I always forget one thing.
Regretful dreams are made of these.
That's what mods are for.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
But with that, there's Shin. Welcome, Shin.
Hi, buddy.
Hi. We'll go ahead and jump right into things. Obviously, there's no recap of last session. But as far as the story goes, up until this point, you guys have been coalesced from different portions of the Kralset continent and teamed up with the Iron Hearth, which is definitely much more established in the Kralset continent and in different continents throughout the plane. But taking some tasks there and at least getting leveled up inside the Iron Hearth mercenary group up to the level of Blade, you guys were offered a new opportunity to not only possibly quickly move up in the Hearth, but be part of a new settlement in a pretty much uncivilized and unsettled country, in that of Agresh. With jobs being a little sparse, especially for your guys' level within the Hearth, this was an opportunity that seemed too good to pass up. Plenty of money to be made, fame to be garnered, and, like I said, the possibility of leveling up through the Hearth much quicker. All things pointed to why not. So, you guys took the voyage, heading from the Kralset continent north, and landing on the corner of the countries of Lauflix and Etra. Then you made further and further traversing across Etra and across Petchva, and eventually into the country of Agresh. There you followed one of the few paths that you have seen in Agresh so far, and this takes you directly to the town of Teramesh. Now, in this town, it is a decently small settlement. Some of the houses and shops that have been created around here are still vacant, waiting to eventually get someone in to occupy the space, and as well as sort of fill the town out as things hopefully progress for the good. But the obvious thing that stands out to anyone who enters the town of Teramesh is the Iron Hearth Hall itself. So let me pull up. I totally thought I had the town of Teramesh as a map in our campaign already, but I guess I dropped that ball. What else is new?
When's the other one gonna drop?
Not for a
13
long
usually.
time. Gotta get hit in the stomach once, really well. But we will make sure that we are on map and background before we drop that in there. Wonderful. So the Iron Hearth being one of the few locations in this town that seems to be well established, as well as seems a little bit of weathering. Probably one of the first buildings in this town that has been created. And though many of the Iron Hearths that you guys have been to in the Kralset continent, some are made completely out of iron, while others are made out of sort of bandings, and they have an inner iron layer. This one primarily is made out of wood, but all of the support beams that have been used in the creation of this town are made out of iron. And this is indicative by the front pillars that are in front of this building. They have the wooden columns, but this iron sort of where they connect to the top and the bottom of this little front patio to the hearth. They have the iron connections and casings that you usually see these other hearths that are completely inundated with. Going inside as your guys' group, though catching a few glances from people in the town. Town resides probably about 100 or so, 150 or so individuals currently. This being a much smaller settlement, everyone sort of knows each other, and your guys' group being eclectic, to say the least, definitely draws eyes and whispers and comments. At one point, looking behind, you guys see a few children are following and sort of mimicking the different party members' walking styles before they realize that they've been caught and go scurrying away back to parents. And you see mothers sort of bopping them on the head as, like, why are you making fun of people who are wielding weapons? But you guys make your way to the hearth, make your way inside. And though this being the largest building in the entire settlement, it's awkwardly dead inside. You guys arrive just shortly after midday. So maybe it is just the lunch crowd has left and the dinner crowd hasn't quite arrived yet. As far as your guys' approach into the town, let me actually pull everyone over. You might need to zoom out.
Is this place doubling as the local tavern?
Correct.
That's what I did wrong.
Okay.
So, going inside, it is awkwardly quiet in here, but again, it just may just be the timing of things, or it might be something else completely that you don't know about. But walking inside, there is currently a steward who is cleaning some of the tables off. A human male individual, somewhere in his early 20s. A mop of dark black hair that is currently, it's shaved on the sides and pulled back into some sort of messy contraption of a bun. And he's got a face full of freckles. Doesn't notice you guys as you first approach and make your way inside, but after he finishes sort of spinning around a table as he's wiping it off and sort of stops there and sees the shadows on the floor, he looks up and, you can have this table, it's ready. Anything that I can get for you all?
Yeah, we'd like a room, actually. Since we're going to be here for a while.
Probably a few.
Of course. I meant more food. I don't do the rooms and everything. I'm more of just the hands for down here. But I can get you the person you need. And
Perfect.
Go ahead and feel free to have a seat. I'll be right back. And he just kind of gathers his cleaning bucket and his rag and sort of is trying to quickly go away without spilling the bucket over. Slides the bucket behind the bar and like starts to walk up the stairs that are right next to it, and he hears the as the bucket is tipped over and the water is spilled, and he kind of just stops there on the stairs for a moment before going and then continues up the stairs.
Bless his heart.
About 30 seconds or so, he comes running back down the stairs with a little bit more gusto to his step, as if he's got something on his mind, and immediately says, "He'll be right with you," and then turns the corner and starts grabbing rags, trying to mop up the water probably before whoever is following sees. shortly
Okay.
after him, maybe about 10, 12 seconds, and you hear heavy thuds coming down the steps. The first thing that catches your eyes as they round the corner is the shine from the plate mail that he's currently wearing. He continues down the steps, and you realize that even though his plate mail is very well polished, which you guys have learned in the past dealing with certain individuals as far as guardships and things, that usually the shinier the metal of someone's armor, the less battle that they actually see. But this is one of the few times where that's different. Between the very high polish and shine to his armor, there are deep scratches, grooves, claw marks, sword and arrow notched marks. Different places where the armor has been retouched up by a blacksmith to probably fix holes and different things. But after the armor sort of makes its way down and he comes down the steps enough to see his face, he's currently holding a helmet under his left arm. A very short black mohawk of feathers going down the top of it. And his arms are gauntleted up, and then you see his face as you see a male Goliath who is coming down. Multiple scars and scratch marks across his face, interweave with the different tattoos that he's got situated that go up both cheeks and go to the corners of his eyes. Sassy, go ahead and mute yourself. He comes down, looks at the group, and sort of, with the light behind you all, takes him a moment as he gets to the base of the steps, squints forward, and looks and goes, "Ah, welcome. You must be... what was the name again?
Bad decisions.
Bad Decisions, yes.
Dallas chuckles.
Well, I'm hoping that it was a good decision to bring you here, and your name means more bad decisions for those that get in your way.
Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. I love it. I love the double entendre and everything. I myself am Faramore. Faramore Iron Eyes. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Through my notes, I only have you guys down as Bad Decisions, so is there any introductions you'd like to make to yourselves? You are a hodgepodge group of characters.
Well, my name's Tamberlay,
Wonderful, Tamerlane.
and I'll shake his hand.
Cold to the touch with the armored gauntlets on, but your gauntlets sort of cling to his, and he respects.
Valis is gonna step forward and put his hand out and go, "Name's Valis. This here's my sister."
I can
Valis
speak
and-
for myself.
I was hoping she would, or else I'd have to call her, "This here's my sister."
My name's Chadra. It's pleased to meet you. How did you spell your name? She's writing all of this down in one of her notebooks.
It's Varaforn. Varaforn.
That is not what I heard at all.
Varaforn.
Forn.
Right.
Okay. I heard Faramore.
I did too.
Varaforn.
Veravor.
Varaforn Iron Ice.
Iron Eyes.
Eyes. See, this is why I ask. Cool. I'm pleased to
I
meet
don't
you.
want to leave it.
No.
Don't kill Valis off already.
Was that a hint of French I heard?
None.
Shakes your hand, Valis, then waits till
No
you're done writing, and then extends his hand towards you.
Then I wave.
Uh, she-
Not much of a handshaker.
It's all right. I've dealt with germaphobes before. It's fine. And you, sir? Moving over to Twunk.
It's like he looks like he puts a fist into his other hand and like bows before him. It's like, I am known as Twunk, and I am honored to meet someone with such decorations. I'm sure your people are very proud of you.
He will give you a nod and be like, I appreciate the compliments, and with such respect, I'm sure your people are proud of you as well. But please sit. Let us engorge ourselves on some food and drink and get to know each other. He sort of turns and already coming with a platter full of looks like fruit, bread, and cheese, like a little charcuterie board, but good amounts of portions. The steward is running over and slides it onto the table and goes, and I'll be right back with your drinks. Thank you, Charles.
And, Charles, that's what I was just about to ask.
Yes, Charles is... kind of waits for Charles to be out of earshot and be like, my adopted son.
How old does Charles look?
He, like I said, he's early 20s.
Early 20s.
I hope the trip wasn't too much of a pain in the ass for you. You all seem to be at least all in one piece, so that's good.
I think it was more long than anything else.
Well, unfortunately,
Like
we don't have a lot of close-by hearth establishments to bring in recruits for this settlement. And it was more of a first-come, first-served basis, so we are now full up as far as available roomage goes.
So, it's
go
safe
ahead,
to
I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. It's safe to assume you're the one that's in charge here.
Correct.
Okay.
I am... And he kind of, like, stops and, like, fiddles with, like, his belt for a moment before pulling out this little paper. And he goes, alright. So, I don't really like titles, but I am the lay master of the settlement of Terrormush, Halberd of the Iron Hearth, 2nd degree. Rolls it back up and shoves it back in the little pouch he pulled it from. I'll be the one that you all report to, the one that'll be giving you all jobs to do, and being your liaison in any way, shape, or form with the hearth or the town that you may need. If you feel the
So
need
you're
to...
the go-to guy, basically.
Yes, I'm the one that you'll be dealing with the most.
All right.
If you want to give me a title, you can just call me Liaison, Veriforn. I prefer just calling me Veriforn rather than any sort of titles. Makes me feel old.
And who else are we sharing this with? I mean, I'm sorry. Who else are we bunking with? Or
We don't
who
be
else is
bunking
staying?
with anyone. You'll have your own separate rooms. But we
No,
don't.
that's not what I meant. I mean, like, who else is here?
Right. The other group, the Dagger Teeth. They are currently out on an expedition themselves. They'll be easy to recognize. Again, sort of a hodgepodge group of mercenaries like yourself. Not really able to blend in too much with the rest of the town as far as not only personalities but personas in general. It is a group of 6 individuals. One Triton named Mark. Don't ask me how to spell that either, because his name's actually like 5 syllables worth of things, but I got Mark out of it, and he was like, yeah, that's fine. So a Triton man named Mark. You have 2 humans, 1 male, 1 female. They are cousins. I forgot the female's name, but the guy's name is Cherub for some reason.
All right.
Don't ask me why. I didn't ask. Then you got yourself a half-orc named Boulder. And then you have yourselves 2 half-elves. I'm not sure if they're related or not, or what their deal is. They look roughly the same. Not sure how much you all have dealt with elves. Obviously, he points to Chadra and Valis and goes, "You guys are of a different variety of elf, but they're the ones that have that brown sort of skin to them. I forget what they're called." But they're both very much nature-esque, and they like to do druid spell work.
Are you talking about like wood elves?
Like wood elves?
No, he's talking about the Eladrin elves.
Oh, okay. Would we have known that?
I was gonna ask for his. Can I make a history check?
You guys being drow, you would have a little bit more understanding of the different variants of elf.
Okay.
So it's easy enough to put it together.
Okay.
Okay.
But both of those ladies, they're named Terrian? No, Teria. Yeah, Teria. And this one threw me for a loop. Bethany.
All right.
She does not look like a Bethany. He kind of like looks towards Chadra and be like, if I called you Bethany, how would you feel about that?
Well, it's not my name.
Yes, but do you feel like you are Bethany?
Valis.
No, because it's not my name.
I'm just saying it does not fit her. You'll understand when you see her.
Maybe she was raised by humans.
I didn't
Being
get
a
to
half
ask.
elf.
They pretty much immediately came in, asked for their first quest, and left. And I only had one to give, so I gave it to them.
Perhaps they were named for some quality of their character.
Possibly, we'll have to wait and find out. You guys have almost had as much interaction with them as I've had. So it's nice to be able to sit down and talk with you all. They've only been gone for 2 days. I gave them a roughly 5-day, 2 there, 1 day to finish it, 2 to get back. So they should be back in a few days.
What's
So
their purpose?
They are currently trying to figure out a certain missing caravan that disappeared about a 2 days trek south of us. Probably roughly in the direction that you all came, but more towards Etra, so a little bit more east than probably the route that you came in from. But they're just meant to see what's going on, see if there's any survivors, and bring them back if possible. If not, bring as much commodities back that might still be around and deliver them to the correct establishments. Some of the quests that you'll be given here are going to vary highly in difficulty. Some are going to be as simple as escorting someone from the port to town, and others are going to be a little bit more drastic as far as dealing with some unsavory creatures in the forest.
Valis's ears perk up. What kind of creatures?
Well, the last thing that I had to dispatch, along with a couple of hired hands that have since moved on from Terramesh, we ended up dealing with a few drakes that were causing some mayhem.
He kind of disappointingly, but you see him also pull out a notebook very, very different from his sister's. Squiggles all over it. And he squiggles something and then puts it back.
So Chatch is the meticulous note taker, and Valis is the kindergartner.
Copycat younger brother, yes.
Kindergartner. Kindergartner with crayons.
Yeah, actually, it's just a black crayon that he pulls out, and he just...
Still don't understand that. Okay,
I'm surprised he has the crayon. Normally he eats them.
Gotta save at least one. By this time, Charles has brought an ale, and it's
That's the red one.
and you can smell as he's cooking meats in the back.
This one almost did not make it across the sea, as he hikes a thumb over at Valis.
Well, the sea is not meant for everyone, so some people do better with solid ground beneath their feet. And some people do better when they can be avoided.
Well, this one's sister also was the root cause of it. Many threats to throw them overboard.
Looks at Valis' size and then looks at Chandra's arms.
In my defense, well earned and rightfully deserved.
I mean, it was just a lantern.
Well, it definitely
Yeah.
sounds like siblings to me.
lantern that almost burned the whole boat down. So yes, just
Yes.
a lantern.
Just a lantern on a wooden ship.
And yeah, maybe that might have been my second boat that I would have sunk. But we're here, we're safe, right? Right?
On that note, Verforen, would it be too much trouble to show us where our rooms are real quick so we can just put our stuff away and then come down and actually enjoy this?
Of course.
As I lift up the ale.
Yep. He takes a swig from his cup before standing up. Right this way, and goes up the stairs that you saw him come down from. Now, obviously, as you guys have seen from the outside, the hearth is 3 stories tall, with a basement underneath as well. Basement is mainly used for storage of food and other things that the hall needs. And yes, we do serve the community and serve as the main establishment for food and drink throughout the settlement. I myself occupy the only room on the 3rd floor, and you guys will be splitting the rooms as you're following and he's going up the stairs and into the hallway.
Right.
And he will gesture to the left. There are 5 doors on either side, and he gestures to the left and be like, the Daggerteeth have already claimed these rooms, and so these rooms would be yours. Each room can hold 2 individuals comfortably, but I understand some groups and adventurers like to all coalesce into a room for different reasons,
We are not that close.
then each room can accommodate up to 2 people. Or, since you guys are a bit of a smaller group, you can each have your own room. The beds do latch, so they can end up becoming a single bed inside.
Question: if it wouldn't be too much of a bother, if we did decide to bunk together,
Mm-hmm.
2 to a room, could we take a 3rd room and make it kind of our little base of operations, if that's acceptable?
As long as you don't mind the beds staying in there, then
Oh, not at all.
that's perfectly fine with me. Like I said, these 5 rooms are allocated for your guys' group, so you all could take a single room and then have the 5th room be your base of operations.
All right.
Now, this has been brought to me already by the Dagger Teeth, so I will also tell you as well that eventually, as the town grows a little bit more, and you guys making a little bit more money and want to pay for the ability yourselves, since the Iron Hearth is sort of sponsoring this entire settlement, you guys would have first choice as to where any sort of lodging that you would want to build and have created specifically for yourselves would be located. So you can keep that at the back of your mind in case you guys want to create something for yourselves.
So what you're saying is that this is basically a jumping off point.
You can stay
And
here
then
for
we'll
as
make
long
the-
as you want if you prefer.
Okay.
But eventually, when things get a little bit more inundated, sometimes people don't appreciate a lively establishment being beneath them or having to go through said establishment to get to their lodging quarters and such. And I believe it's understood to be a place to call our own, is how most people like to label it.
All right.
But
That would be nice.
it's just an option for the future. But feel free to drop off your things and head back down. I will meet you at the tables.
All right.
So you guys can divvy, bunk, however you want with these rooms.
How do we want to do this?
How do you want to do this?
I mean, I don't take up much space.
I am not permitted by my tribe to share any room with a woman with whom I am not betrothed.
Well, that counts Valis out then. So it looks like you're bunking alone.
My
I resent that
apologies.
statement.
I was under the impression that Valis was male.
Mm-hmm.
I
He
am.
thinks he is.
Again, I
Father
don't care
would-
either way.
I'll bunk with Tamberlake.
All right.
And I will bunk with Twunk.
Like nods.
Yeah,
This
go
one
ahead.
needs supervision anyway.
Okay. So out of the 5 rooms you've been given, you guys take 2 of them. Got it.
And we're going to use one for, like, our base of operations.
Okay. Easy enough to do. You still have... Those are relegated to you guys regardless. So,
We still
the
have
event-
one more room.
you have, no,
In
you
the
have 3
event that
rooms.
there's something that happens, we can take all the rooms. It's fine. But right now, we'll just bunk up.
Valis just brings home a couple pets.
They get
Chad-
I
the
mean,
Chadra accidentally blows up a room.
It's like,
High possibility with my new character.
we are going to go ahead and move to the end room.
Tamberlake, I'm really sorry about the bed.
What about the bed?
No. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like, if I blew it up.
Well, I mean, like, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, we now have a room for your workshop.
Yeah.
And then if Twunk needs anything for like potions or like, I don't know, an internal greenhouse or something, we've got a room for that too.
Well, going inside the rooms, there are 2 beds inside, 2 armoires, 2 desks, 2 usable mirrors. There is a water closet attached,
Oh, nice.
and a magically refilling basin to use as a sink.
Wow, this place is posh.
Wow.
I can just see her like running out, like, "Oh my god, did you see this? Oh my god, did you see this?" And then the other group comes up. She's like, "It's all right."
There is a lantern that hangs from the middle of the room. It's a magical everlit lantern, but you can snuff it. And then when you open it back up again, it automatically relights.
How
Beyond
bright is
that,
it?
what's that?
How bright is it?
It sheds bright light across the whole room.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bright light, 20 feet, and then dim light 20 feet, but the rooms aren't huge.
All right.
But there's places to put your things down, unload any unnecessary equipment, mainly Chadra. And then Verithorn's waiting for you downstairs when you all are ready.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna put my backpack down.
Yeah. I'll just dump my stuff on the bed and then head back down. I did want to ask him some questions.
I'm gonna keep my armor and everything. But yeah, gonna go downstairs.
Chadra's gonna start putting things away.
Roger that. In your room or in the base of operations room?
Well, I'm gonna put my clothes away first, and then I'm gonna go put stuff away in the base of operations room.
Okay. Roger that.
I'm gonna run downstairs and ask Verithorn. I was just curious. Is there a locking mechanism on those? Like, do we need keys for those? Because one of our team members has some pretty valuable stuff that we need to keep.
The
Only
doors.
from idle hands.
The doors lock to your group's name.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So no one that isn't a part of any kind of unfurls a contract that you guys have done for multiple quests and such, and the one that you guys signed to come here.
Okay.
Like no one that isn't part of your group would be able to access the rooms.
And that works with the windows as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But you guys are on the inside, so you have no windows.
Oh. Oh.
This room just got a lot scarier.
It's a lot smaller.
Except for the room at the very, very end. That one would have 2 windows.
Dibs. Dibs on that room.
Damn it! Damn it!
That's mine and Tamberlay's room.
Damn it!
Also, I was wondering if I could get the larger bed taken out if you have a smaller bed. I mean, it just takes up a lot of room that I don't need.
We could bunk bed them.
Oh, we could, but it's still a big bed for me. Either way.
I'll have Charles work on the enchantment, and we'll see if we can get that one swapped out for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Verithorn will get up and walk behind the counter, the bar, to where Charles is currently grilling some stuff up. He talks with him and takes over for the grilling as Charles goes upstairs to change the enchantment around.
Oh, you don't have to do that right now.
Better to get it done than wait for later.
Alright.
Charles is already gone.
Do you need any help in there?
Nope, just, how does everyone prefer their meat?
Phallus goes rare.
Alright, this one's done.
I don't think we're very picky.
He runs up and grabs it.
Is Twunk vegetarian or not? Just curious.
Just like he yawns for a moment, and you see like the sharp canines, and then looks toward you.
I don't know. Druids are from all different races and sizes. I don't know.
Medium well.
I take it any way I can get it.
Alright. Twunk, how would you like your meat?
Fresh.
Alright, I can do that. Kind of reaches over into this larger container down next to him as he opens it up. There's just a bit of a cold draft that escapes into the room for a moment. And he pulls it out and puts it on the pan just enough to warm it up. Plates it for you.
Hey, Val.
Yeah.
If I'm putting stuff in the room, can I take it out of my inventory and just write it down on some notes that I'm keeping?
Yeah, you can put it in either the notes section of your character sheet or in the other possessions section.
Okay, I'll do that. Just because that way we've got it, but it's not taking up the weight in my area.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not a problem. And anyone can do the same thing with their items as well. Gives them the fresh meat to you, Twunk, and then prepares the other. Gives Taverley some medium rare, and then gives Chadra her medium well. Charles will come back down just after he's done plating the rest of the meat, and bead of sweat sort of running down the side of his face. He goes, "Dad." Veriform with a big, warm, fatherly smile just kind of goes up to him and ruffles the back of his head, messing up his hair a little bit and undoing the bun. And goes, "Good job, Charles. Now, take it easy, get yourself a drink. And when you're ready, you can join us." And your guys' cuts of meat are not small in any regards. We're talking, like, probably good 24, 26 ounces.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm digging in, not even like really asking like what kind of meat in it, and like after a couple of bites, I go, "This is great. What kind of meat is it?"
Drake.
He goes, "Oh, yeah."
We, try not to waste anything around here. Being a little bit more secluded than most settlements and towns that I've ever been in before, it helps to use everything we have available to us.
Twunk and off in the off over, just like nodding in approval, just like that is the way.
So, as he sits down, your guys' table's starting to get a little full, so he sits down at the table next to you guys, not far away at all. Starts digging into his own slice. "So tell me about yourselves. What are you all expecting to make of yourselves here? What are you hoping to accomplish? Where do you see yourselves going here in the next few months to few years? You plan on making this a permanent home? Tell me your plan."
Well, me and my sister here, we just really want to make a name for ourselves. Well, scratch that. I really want to make my name for myself. She's just kind of long.
Well, with how small the settlement is, as long as you do well here, it'd be more than easy to make a name for yourselves among the people here. And what about yourself, Mighty Tamerlane?
You know, I haven't figured it out yet. I mean, I had to get away from where I was. Not because I didn't like it or anything. It's just felt a little claustrophobic. So, I guess I'm out to see the world in a small town. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this place doesn't look to be too penned in.
Yes, this town, though it's small in population, there's a lot to explore around, and a lot of it still left to be explored by the First Peoples. So there'll be things out there that you come across that no one else has seen in the world. And you, Twonk.
I'll play something.
For myself, I see.
I was doing so well till you laughed out loud, goddammit.
And it's only going to get better from here.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I seek purpose, but a purpose that I carve for myself, not one that is carved for me.
So trying to find your path against fate. I like it. Well, hopefully, purpose is something that you can find here. I know everyone in this settlement is more than eager to meet you, and between you and the Dagger Teeth and myself, we are the guardians of this little settlement, the ones to protect and care for and nurture and grow this settlement to become something much larger and profound and pronounced over time, and hopefully for permanent sake.
Well, that sounds like a lot of responsibility.
You're not alone. You have myself, Charles, and the other Dagger Teeth. And if we start to do well, we can request further mercenary groups to join us in this endeavor.
I wasn't paying attention. I was kind of lost in my thoughts when we were coming in. Was there an established town guard here?
That is us.
Okay.
We have a sort of militia amongst the civilians, those who are a little bit more adept at wielding weapons and fending off creatures and beasts, those a little bit stronger will that are willing to put themselves in front of the other civilians. But as far as those who are dedicated to the craft of being protected and dealing with any threat that may be coming along, that is left to us. It sounds and feels like a lot. I understand. But since this settlement has been established, and the larger and larger it gets, the less and less the more hostile creatures want to intrude in this area.
What are the local creatures that
And
we
how
should
often?
be keeping our eye out for?
And how often do they venture into town.
Well, like I said, it's happening less and less as the town is starting to grow. I would say we would have a problem with beasts and creatures from the forests once every few months, maybe a couple, 3 times a year.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for 3 years.
Okay.
Started out as just a simple shack that I lived in. And over time, a few other shacks nearby. We got some carpenters in, some Iron Hearth enchanters were able to come in and build this hall. And slowly but surely, the settlement has been growing.
He lived in Terramesh before it was cool.
I am the hipster. No, I'm just kidding.
He's been
I
bringing
am
in the
Terramesh.
gentrification. Started out with just a couple shacks. Now there's 3 Starbucks around the corner. You know.
And a Mickey D's on every block.
The usual.
As far as the type of creatures that you'd be concerning yourself with, it really isn't a set species that constantly makes its presence known to the town. When it was just a few homes and it was more of a constant defense situation, we were dealing with everything between dire wolves to these interesting large-scaled lizard creatures to a whole host of ranging beasts of sized fur, of bears and whatnot. But after the settlement was established and started to grow, those creatures showed up less and less and less. The main problems that we have are every now and again a larger creature does threaten the overall security of the town, and we have to deal with it. But there's 2 other settlements in Agresh. Gilgamesh and Karadesh. Gilgamesh is to the northwest, and the other is to the northeast. The safety of those 2 settlements.
What was the name of the second one?
Karadesh.
And that's to the northeast?
Correct.
Thank you.
The overall safety of those settlements isn't really our concern, besides the fact that they are trade partners. They have been settled by other caretakers, and they are to focus on their own safety. But in time, between the trade routes that have been created between our settlements, that's when usually we'll have problems and people going missing, as well as caravans and items. So now that we have 2 mercenary bands with us, there'll be plenty of escort missions available for you all. And if any of these escort missions to go awry, or any of the other trade caravans cease to exist or have gone missing, then, like the Dagger Teeth are taken care of right now, we would send you all out to investigate, and if you are able to find information as to what creatures may have done this, then we would go and set up another quest to purge these creatures from at least the nearby forest. We're not trying to exterminate the species, just make it safe for travel.
Pull the herd, basically.
Correct.
It's like when people feed a bear too much.
You feed your bears.
No, people feed bears and they start coming into town and then they become a nuisance and you have to try and get rid of them and sometimes they become aggressive and I read it in the book.
It's so fun trying to get them to leave.
Well, yes, so that's just some of the stuff we may be dealing with as time moves on. But we feel you are more than capable and would not have brought you into, or you'd be offered this quest to begin with, if you wouldn't be able to handle it.
Right. There was another question I was going to ask. It has, well, I don't know if it's a delicate matter or anything like that, but we were told that there's something, well, there's like something new going on as far as like if we're out on a mission and we die.
Oh, yes. He kind of looks around at everyone's food. If everyone's finished with lunch, we can go down and I can show you.
Sure.
You said the steaks were how big?
Like 24 ounces.
Yeah, Chandra ate like maybe 4 ounces of steak.
Okay. But you're
Yeah.
done, though?
Tamberly didn't eat too much either. That's
Yeah, absolutely. She's like moving this giant hunk of steak around her plate a lot, but she's not really doing anything with it. Just trying not to be rude.
Yeah. It's alright. They'll take whatever's not eaten, cut off the
Valid.
portions where you ate it, and then reuse it in different ways. More than likely giving it to livestock and such.
It really was good. It just was a lot.
That's fine. I'll take it as a portion of dinner tonight. Something satisfying about killing a prey and then eating it.
Again, just like off in the corner, just like nods
I
in understanding.
Like, yeah, Valis is like, yes.
The women of the group are just like, okay. And then the guys in the
Yes.
group are just like, yeah.
something satisfying about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to eat it all at once. That's the thing.
I don't need 1.5 pounds of steak right now.
You don't? Really?
I mean,
Nice.
I do, but not
Oh, I know,
Chandra.
right? Sounds delicious.
Right.
Yeah, Chada could really use a pound of flesh right about now.
No.
All right.
You would have heard I was laughing, but I let go of my push to talk, so because my keyboard's too loud.
So, with everyone standing up and following him, he takes you back to the stairs that sit right next to the wall of the kitchen and behind the bar area. But instead goes around the left of it, and there's stairs that go down as well
Into the basement.
into the basement.
Oh god, it's always the basement.
Of course.
Isn't it though?
You guys go down the flight of stairs into the basement and reach a door. This one, he puts his hand up, and you see his brand. He's taken his right gauntlet off. His brand is on the back of his right hand. And as he reaches his hand up towards the handle of the door, his brand sort of lights up, almost as if it's being rebranded. And he grabs a hold of the handle and opens the door. So, I'm not sure how much that they've discussed and given you the details of what's to go on. And as soon as the door opens and he gets out of the way, you guys feel a heavy, cold gust of wind just cut through all of you. But he's holding the door open for you all to enter.
I should have brought a
Oh,
coat.
yeah.
As the cold air brushes through, just like there's almost like a chain
Just like
reaction
home.
of the fur on Twonk's body. It like extends all the way out to the tail.
Just
and just like immediately like hugs himself like, oh.
Ballas kind of like bumps his sister. Look, it's just like home.
Hence why we left.
So, like I said, I'm not sure how much that they've told you about the overall details of everything here, but this establishment has been granted interesting magics to safeguard against any premature deaths. This is very much a prototype situation that was imbued upon this settlement and might be used for other hosts in the future. But, and after everyone gets in and he closes the door behind, as soon as he does that, there are a few lanterns that get lit in the different areas of this room. And there are about 7 tables that are all empty currently. And up against the wall, just like a morgue, there are these inlets with bodies inside. So, like I was saying, this is a safeguard against any premature death. Because of the possibilities and some of the things that we have encountered being a bit ferocious, and accidents do happen. We, at the Iron Hearth, are trying to save our recruits and individuals as much as possible. Here we have either donated or forcibly taken through different things that they have done in their lives bodies for you all to imprint upon and use as a backup in case you are to fall in combat. Your soul would then after a time, of course. There's obviously healers amongst different groups and the ability to get to one another and stave off death for a while. But if you were to perish on the battlefield after a few minutes, your soul would then revert back to the hearth and assume position inside the body in which you have imprinted. You then would be able to use this new vessel to coalesce with your team and possibly get back to your original body and move your spirit into it. Bringing your original body back here, and we can coordinate with our enchanter to Charles, you met him, to get your spirit into the correct body that you would like.
Oh, Charles is the enchanter. Okay.
Yes, hence why he was working on the enchantment for Tamperlay's bed.
Got it.
Now, we have some vessels here that you may wish to imprint on now, just for safety's sake. But eventually, out there in the wilds, if you were to come across not only humanoids, but creatures of certain size and tenacity that you would prefer as a backup, some things are able to be done easier than others, but it doesn't hurt to bring it back and ask if it's a possibility.
When you say creatures, you mean is there a limit to these creatures?
Usually the size. A spirit of a size of yourself obviously can't fill the void that an elephant would require. But something roughly the same size as yourself, or whoever's the one to perish, would be able to fit much easier. Like I said, there are exceptions, and there are different ways to possibly get around that. But sticking to roughly your size, maybe a little bit larger, is the safer alternative.
Okay, good to know.
So, like I said, we have a few vessels here for you all to go ahead and choose if you'd like.
All right, we can go take a look at the bodies.
All right.
He
Yep.
will clasp his
One
hands,
of
and as he
the
does so, all the available vessels will slide out, float over, and land upon the 7 different tables that are available in the middle of the room.
I thought you were going to say that these dead bodies were just going to sit up. I was going to be like, Chadra just nopes the fuck out of there.
Like, did I not mention that they were all zombies?
Right.
Someone's like, hey, Chadra? She's already back on the boat going back.
No, she would get to the door and be like, "Why isn't this thing opening?"
What kind of horror film is this?
All right. So, as far as looking upon the individuals in front of you, the first one is a middle to older aged half-elf male. Bald head and brown eyes and almost like a golden color to his skin. Sits about 5 feet tall and is, looks like for his age and such, he's decently muscular and well built.
That was an elf?
Half elf.
Think.
Alright. Just pulling up the next one. Alright. Next is a relatively young human male. Short, wavy auburn hair and almost like a red tint to his eyes. Decently more pale skin and is about 5'7", but he is jacked. Next one is about a middle-aged human. Very long, curled brown hair and green eyes. Decently tanned skin. 5'9" and has a very lean build to him. Next one is a middle-aged human male again. He's got long, wavy auburn hair and blue eyes. He's got rough, very tanned skin. He's 5'4", and it's a bit rounder in the middle. But one thing you do notice about him is that his hands are clasped around some sort of, looks like holy symbol. Next one is a decently young, probably for half elves, somewhere in the 20 to 30 range, female half elf. Short curly red hair and blue eyes. She's got like a copper color to her skin. She's 5'5" and is decently muscular. Next, we have a middle-aged human female. She has shoulder-length black hair and blue eyes. She's got a brown, very smooth brown skin tone. She's 5'9" and even for her age looks decently athletic. And then the last one. A gnomish fellow. Not many of you know how to age gnomes correctly. But this gnome has about mid-back long black hair and an interesting blue, like cyan color to his eyes. The majority of his skin is pretty soft except for his hands. They are calloused and hard. And he's got a little bit more of a whiter skin tone than most gnomes. He is just under 4 foot tall and has a little bit of a pot belly to himself.
All right.
Those are the 7 options for the vessels that they have available.
And they're like laying on the slab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Between the two females,
Okay.
if we had to make a guess, which one looks like they'd be stronger?
The younger female.
Okay.
Like I said, she's ripped.
I'm gonna look at the gnome.
Okay.
And how do you imprint and just like kind of poke at it a little bit?
As soon as you poke it, you feel your finger get dangerously cold, and you look down, and this gnomish body has clasped your hand with both hands. And you feel like this searing cold like shoot up the bones in your arm. And you're like, ooh, almost as if your arm went completely numb.
Valis shrieks.
Yeah, and it happens. Almost, it happens almost immediately. The clasp, the shooting cold up your arm, and then the gnome's hands go back to where they were, on their chest. Like, well,
Valis. No.
don't worry, you've already imprinted.
What?
That's why we keep telling you to put your hands in your pockets.
What did I tell you about touching things you don't understand?
Damn it!
That is also what she said on the ship after their 23rd threat to throw them overboard.
Well, one person's made their choice. How about everyone else?
Tamberley, you can choose first.
Well, I'm actually having a difficult choice because I mean, the younger one of the females looks great and all, but that other redhead looks, I mean, right up my alley as far as muscles go. I don't know, like, does he look like, I don't know, a barbarian kind of person? Is he like, you said he was like ripped, right?
Yeah. He's jacked.
That's the second male, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The 20-year-old looking male.
Yeah, the redhead without a soul.
As far as classes go, he is a fighter.
It was short auburn hair with red tinted eyes, thank you.
Yes, I know. But he's
Uh,
pale.
He is a fighter.
Okay. And the redheaded female?
She is a barbarian.
I will definitely take her then.
All right.
And I will take off my gauntlet and touch her.
The hands clasp your hands. You feel the shooting cold up your arm for but a brief moment, and then her hands resume her normal resting place. All
Thank you,
right.
Chadra.
What is the? I guess I need someone who has like decent strength, for the gun, but that's about it. Was that somebody disagreeing with me, or was that an animal?
That was an animal.
Okay. Sorry, that was very judgy, animal. I get. Can I do it? Can I tell what the middle-aged female was with the black hair?
You can ask.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm basically answering as if you asked. She middle-aged female. Where's she at?
She was 5th
Yeah, I don't have them in my thing. They're
Okay.
kind of all
or 6th.
around. She was a bard.
A bard?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll take that one.
Okay.
With my low. Wait, hold on. My charisma's a problem there.
Well, remember,
Ugh.
you guys
I
would
didn't
end up
even
taking.
ask what the gnome was.
You guys would end up taking the stats of the person that you end up becoming if your soul comes back to their vessel.
But not
guess
the personality.
Okay, then I'll take the bard.
Okay.
Wait, before you do that,
Okay.
what about that original gentleman? The middle-aged one. I know he's a little bit older than what we probably wanted, but
The half elf.
what was
The bald
yeah,
guy?
what was
Yeah.
his profession?
He.
Please tell me he was a ranger.
No, he's definitely not a ranger. Where is he? Half elf. He's a druid.
Oh, all right. Not quite your wheelhouse, but
Valis is gonna
What the gnome was?
What's the gnome?
The gnome is a wizard.
He's just gonna.
He's a wizard?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the gnome is a wizard.
Great.
Decision, Chadra?
I'm just reading all of my notes, that's all.
Alright. Twunk?
Like the funny thing is that I was actually staring at the half elf and it just so happened to work out.
Yeah.
But
Druid. So what we have left is a druid.
A cleric, I'm guessing, is one of them.
Yeah, one of them's a cleric. There's the fighter. Got another bard. So bard. That one's taken. Cleric. Fighter. Bard. Druid.
I'll take the female bard.
Okay. Same thing, hand clasps over yours, shooting cold up your arm, but it's only for a brief moment as the hands go back to where they rest.
I feel there was a missed opportunity. I just want to put this out there above game. I feel like Valis would have leaned over that gnome with his face really close, and
Just
then
grabs
maybe
the side of his face.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel like would have actually happened. But luckily, he just poked it.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was either that or just leaning like you said, leaning over.
And so Twunk, the half elf for you or someone different?
Yeah, no, he does like a walks over to the half elf and it's like, apart from like being told druid, it's like do you know this one story?
Yes, he's one of the first farmers of our town. Also worked in our militia to help protect, and unfortunately succumbed to wounds when we had to activate said militia against a interesting pack of acid-spitting reptiles. Put up a hell of a fight, though, he did.
Then in oh god, that's doing a weird thing today. It's then may he once again serve his community through me, and he will like lay his hand upon his chest.
All right. Hands clasp your paw. The shivering cold spike up the arm for just the briefest of moments before the hands go back. And
all the hairs stand on end again.
yeah. And all right, you will have chosen, and he sort of waves his hands, and as they do so, the 4 that you guys have imprinted on move from the area where they had been kept to the other side of the wall, where these doors open along the wall, and you see 6 other bodies are currently being kept in that direction. You guys are guessing it's the Dagger's Teeth vessels, and your new imprinted vessels now move over and take up the remaining spots in that area.
Then the other 3 float to meat hooks, and
The other 3 are still reserved in case needed.
When I said Drake, that was the name of the person we made the steaks from.
We don't waste nothing here. All right then, shall we move ourselves out of the cold?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
yes, please.
Aww.
Like Twunk is already by the door. There was a cloud where he used to be.
You can lock him in here, pointing at Valis.
Everyone goes over to the door. The brand ignites once again. He opens it, and you guys rush out, some faster than others. And then the door closed behind.
So, Veriford, if something happens to us and do we need to, I don't know, do we just appear in that body?
Yes. Once the vessel realizes that your spirit is making its return back to the hearth, it will automatically move itself into the center of the room on one of those tables that you all just witnessed them on. So that way you all don't wake up in a box.
All right, and how is it that you are informed that we need to get out of there? Because it looked like you were the only person that can go in and out.
Once you inhabit your body and make pretty much any movement down there, I have a specific spell that alerts me if any movement is happening inside there.
All right.
And if I can,
It does the normal necromancy check first, obviously, but
and if I can't make it, Charles does have the ability to get there as well.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I just
That was my
imagined
next-
that all of the bodies have like a string tied to their toe that's attached to a bell in like Charles's room, and in the other room, and like when the body starts moving, it goes down there. It's like, oh, okay, well, never mind. Shit.
Oh, bother.
I mean, hey, historically they did that for graveyards.
Yep.
That's why. That's just what I popped in my head. Like this whole time that you've been describing the body sequence of them like getting up and being like floating into the other room. You didn't say floating, but it was implied because of the original way. But I just imagine they like got up and like walked into the other room. They're just kind of like standing there. This is fun.
One just shouts, "Wake me when I'm dead."
So, I'm just going to send you guys. One session's over. I'll send you over the stat blocks for your vessels.
All right.
Okay.
I'm sad. No one got my bodyguard, my fighter.
No, I know. He was a close second though.
He had the best stats.
Oh, I can't believe I got. I mean, I believe. Like, I did it.
Yeah.
I believe.
Look up at Dallas. You're gonna make a great pudgy wizard.
Guys, hold on. Wait
I
for
have
me.
nothing.
Wait for me, guys.
Nothing but optimism for this transition.
Especially because I have an 8 in intelligence.
Oh no,
No, you
that'll
don't.
change. Like I
Oh,
said,
yeah,
you take
that's right.
all this. The only thing that transfers from with the spirit is your memories and your knowledge. As far as ability scores and everything, you inhabit
Yeah.
the ability scores of the vessel that you get. You literally take the entire character sheet, and that becomes your new character until you can get your original
right.
body back.
Valis suddenly gets a brain boost.
Yeah.
Valis, unfortunately, he's not an optimized wizard.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's just say
Good
I rolled for all their stat blocks and took the first roll that was available. Some are much better statted than others.
And some are at the end of the totem pole. I'm
Your
assuming.
wizard has a 13 intellect.
It's better
Bare
than what he has
minimum.
now.
I feel
I have a better.
I feel like my
intelligence than
statement still applies here because I think 13's still higher than your current one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but that goes to show you that that's the highest stat block score for that he has.
that. Oh, I just put 2 and 2 together. Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a squishy little pudge ball.
Oh god.
He's got an 11 to Constitution. But that's
You've got better constitution than I do.
But that's his last double-digit score.
Oh no.
Oh no!
7
Just gotta-
strength, 9 dex, 8 wisdom, 7 charisma.
Oh no!
You're gonna have a hard time getting your body back. And
Can
I'm
he-
there.
Hi, guys.
Can
How
he-
you doing?
Can he put a down
Even
payment
with
on a
mage
second
armor,
body?
that's still a 12.
So yeah. And then for the middle-aged female, your ability scores are 11 strength, 12 dex, 10 con, 10 intellect, 12 wisdom, 12 charisma.
Not great. Not as bad as Valis.
The 30-year-old female red hair.
Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
16 strength, 12 dex, 14 con, 9 intellect, 10 wisdom, 13 charisma.
Not bad.
The druid. 11
18s across the board.
11 strength, 7 dex, 10 con, 10 intellect, 14 wisdom, 9 charisma.
They were townspeople.
That's fair.
The dexterity hurts, but I can live with the rest.
Right? I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really, really trying to get my body back. That's for sure.
The human fighter was 17 strength, 9 dex, 17 constitution, 9 intellect, 12 and 12.
Wow.
I mean, damn.
He said he was jacked. But the female barbarian is statted okay.
Yeah. I'm not mad about it.
But like I said, I'll get you guys your character sheets for your vessels probably tonight after session.
Okay.
I just
What
want
was
to
the name?
just want to clean them up and make them all right. What's the what?
What was my bard's name?
Your bard's name is Kalian. Kaylein. McKinnon.
Okay.
The gnome is Horhick Daventorin Jarpseth. The female barbarian is.
Don't want to know. Her name is Tamberlay too.
All right, and the druid's name is Gonthan Myth Morellin.
Valis, did you remember your name?
Nope.
Horhick Daventorin Jorks.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Don't worry, it's gonna be all on your guys' vessel sheet. Don't worry.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, plus extra little things like the gnome has 2 piercings in his right ear. And I believe, yep, the druid has a lisp.
And the bard has chlamydia.
Well, she was a prostitute, so that makes sense.
Oh shit!
God damn it, I shouldn't make those jokes.
You have a very large scar on your left leg.
Great.
Chandra just wakes up and just says like, huh, what's with this itching?
Anyway, so out of the basements and back into the warmth of the first floor of the hearth, there is where you guys were all sitting and all the meat and everything has been taken up. There is now some not after dinner, but after meal desserts laid out. A pecan pie, a strawberry shortcake, and a cheesecake. Veriforn, like, not even giving 2 fucks for you guys, immediately heads on over to the cheesecake and starts cutting himself a large slice.
I
I-
follow suit.
Follow right after him and take also a slice of whatever was strawberry.
Don't be a glutton.
As you look over at Veriforn, who's taking like almost half the pie as his cut, or half the cheesecake.
He's bigger than Valis.
Sure.
Kind of.
Oh no, he is.
Yeah.
He's a Goliath.
Else is like, still, kind of.
Just curious because we just got here, and we've been traveling for a little while. But what is the usual weather like around here since you've been here for a few years? Like, do I need to get clothes?
Well, currently we are in the hot season. Not until about halfway through the cooling season will it start to get a bit chilly. During
Oh, so I have time.
Yes, you have plenty of time, especially to possibly kill something and make some pelt wear yourself.
Sure.
You
But
can wear
yes.
a cute little fur bikini.
The cold season definitely brings a harsh chill in the snow.
Oh, it does snow here.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
Just during the cold season, though, and we can usually tell when the warming season starts by... To be fair, it is pretty much a perpetual snowfall here, once the cold season hits. But as soon as that's over, that's the starting of the warming season. So it's a pretty harsh dichotomy of when one season starts and ends, at least when it's concerned with the cold season.
Okay.
But we have
Alright.
months till we have to worry about that. So everyone,
Alright.
finish your
Joe better
plates.
stock
and-
up now.
Well, everybody finish your plates, and I'll walk you around the town a little bit, and can at least show you where some of the different establishments are.
Do you know how much time we're gonna have between now and when we potentially get our first mission? Since you said that the other group took the only one you had at the moment.
They took the one I currently had, and sometimes I'll get different requests. Sometimes we find out things happening at different times. I can wake up one morning and set up 7 or 8 quests at once.
Okay.
Other
So
times,
no idea.
correct. I don't have anything immediate, but I do know of a shipload of resources that are going to be coming into the port town to the south, or to the port to the south, here in the next couple weeks. I think it is 14 days it'll be here.
All right.
So, especially since the Daggertooth have taken the first one, if no other quests make themselves known or prepared before then you guys have dibs on that one. And that is just a simple escorting mission to some of our warehouses here in town. But if everyone's ready, I can go ahead and show you all the town.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
And so,
Malice stuffing the rest in his mouth. Let's go.
all right. Let me pull up the right list.
We're gonna run into the families of all the bodies we've claimed.
So, you know what? You remind me of my husband. God rest his soul.
Well, that person over there looks a lot like your blonde body.
God, how horrifying it would be for them.
All right. So,
Phallus,
okay. Go ahead and takes you immediately out of the hearth and to the right. You guys pass by a fish stall that looks decently fresh fish, and Veriform would tell you that this is one of the few places inside the town that are daily going to the ocean and coming back. So the people that run this stall, which currently the stall's closed because it's already past midday, they're definitely people to get to know well, as they might have some insight in case you guys go in that direction. It is run by a couple. Perrin is the male's name, Perran, and the female's name is Silriel, Sylrel.
I forgot that we're supposed to be taking notes.
I'm taking notes.
I know, but
I actually made like a OneNote document for this. I've got a ton of shit.
mhm.
You're only allowed to make one note, though. So make it count.
It's one really long note. It's a run-on sentence.
Hey, you do what you gotta do. We walk you further down. Let me. Whoops. That's not the right thing. There we go. That makes much more sense.
To the inn.
So, this is the fish stall. If you guys took that link I sent in chat earlier to the World Anvil, it'll have all the pins. And though none of the establishments here have names yet, it's simpler. They're labeled blacksmith, carpenter, fish stall, things like that. But continues to across the street that there is an inn. This is where anybody regularly that's passing through, usually traders from the different settlements, will come down. And if it's a little bit too late, they'll stay here for the night and then head back the next day. And then across the street from that
Who runs that?
What's what?
Who runs that?
Oh, that is... Thofa. Human female. Thofa.
THO.
Fa?
Okay.
And this is the inn?
It's the inn, yes.
Right.
Also, regular settlers that may come into the town but don't have a house yet, they'll stay at the inn until their house is either created or vacancies can be made for other houses. This is sort of their temporary home. Then it would point to the location across the street, still on the corner. Obviously, it looks like some sort of shopping establishment, but it is currently closed and shuttered. Nothing is actually of that place yet, but they're looking at hopefully soon bringing in a few more traders that might want to set up shop there. Continuing on further north. Sorry, I'm cut across so many more pages now. There, we have the leatherworker. And this is actually run by a Triton. A male Triton named Nogos. N-O-G-O-S. He's currently working and is looking like he just finished taking this long piece of tanned leather and is currently sizing it with this tiny little stone that almost works like chalk as he's picturing out where he's going to start cutting. As Bearform goes by and he goes, "And this is our leatherworker, Nogos. Nogos, how goes it?" And Nogos kind of raises his head and like, like, yes, I've heard that joke before.
I was about to say no goes.
And he goes, "Doing fine, Verfon. See you have more mercenaries?" "Yes. This is the bad decisions. They'll be part of some of the hearth activities around here." And with that, Nogos will put down what he was working with and come over. "Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I hope you all can do right by our little town here."
Thank you.
Valus.
We can too.
Valus bows and kind of goes, "We'll try our best."
"The best is all we can hope for. And if you have any need or requirements of a leather worker, feel free to visit my shop at any time. Work has been a little bit slower recently, so I could use the distractions. And if you're out there and you kill any beasts that have some interesting hides, definitely bring them back. Might be able to make something interesting out of them."
Will do.
Most definitely.
He gives you all a polite nod and then heads back into his shop to start working on the piece again. Fairford continues on. Nogos is a little bit more of a sultry fellow, but does good work. One of my favorites coming up here. He gets to the intersection to the north and points to the shop and goes, "As you can probably smell, some more better than others, this is our butcher." You guys walk up to the shop, and he goes, Volgart, are you in there? And you just hear a deep, decently loud, but not trying to be loud, yeah. Why don't you come out and meet our new Hearth band, the Bad Decisions? Okay. And from this 2-story building, you're expecting someone to walk out the front door, and instead, coming from behind the building, you guys feel slight tremors in the ground as a decently large ogre comes around the corner with a big butcher's bib on, and currently holding what looks to be like half a cow in one hand without a problem. Walks around and looks down at you all. I'm Volgart.
Holy cow.
No, half a cow.
Just a
Don't-
regular one.
Don't be rude.
Hi.
Timberlake.
Oh, was that Tam?
I said, hello, my name's Timberlake.
And I'm
And I
Chandra.
will raise a hand.
I'll do the same.
He go for it, but realize that's the cow hand, so he swaps hands with the cow and reaches down and extends just the index and middle finger, as that's all you guys could grab. Nice to make your acquaintance. I hope you like our little town here.
So far, so good.
Love your meat.
That's disgusting.
Thank you. This one will be ready in about 5 minutes. Veraforn is like, don't worry, Volgar, we're not here to purchase anything just yet, but I had some of the drake that you cut up earlier, and fantastic. We'll be back around for some more premium cuts. Volgar gets a big old smile on his hand, on his face, and he goes, I'm glad you liked it. I haven't cut much drake before, and always keen to try new techniques. Well, it was wonderful, Volgart, and like I said, we'll be back around as soon as we can. Okay. See you later. Just kind of waves the cow. A little bit of blood kind of. And then he just goes back to behind the shop. Veraforn continues down the street. Volgard is a pillar of the community.
Literally.
Yes, a little bit. But one of the individuals in the town had found him when he was a baby and saved him from, I think it was a giant ape, and raised him as their own. Unfortunately, that individual has passed away, but Volgard is still part of this community. And we wouldn't have it any other way. As you can tell, he's part of the militia.
Mm.
And I don't know if Teramesh would be standing now if he wasn't there for us. And he's got excellent knife skills. So, up ahead, we have the tannery. The tannery is run by Joseph and his son Jeffrey.
With a Y or with an I?
with a Y.
It's a joke.
I know. And Verifone sort of just more mentions him rather than going to the shop like he did with the rest of them. Just kind of says, there's the tannery. It's run by this guy and his son. Now, over here. He's like, we have the carpenter. The second largest, obviously the second largest building in the town of Terramesh, and is a vital component of the constant expansion of our little town here. They are run by a sister duo of Cass, C-A-S, and Indrum, I-N-D-R-I-M. Cass is
Valkyrie.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Valkyries.
No, human. There are no Valkyrie in this town.
Racist.
Nope. Just none of them wanted to.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
The only racist one here is Chadra.
Only. Oh, never mind. Just so you know, it's already been decided for me, but the Tabaxi racism has been carried over.
Oh no.
Just because my cat still comes across the screen and I yell at him.
That's right. Chadra can have Tourette, that's fine.
Every now and again, back on the ship, like Twunk, just like like ears perked to just like bad boy.
You fuzzy asshole.
Get the fuck out of here, you fuzzy little asshole.
Twonk's in a different room, like, I'm not even with you. So, Cass and Indrum. Cass is in charge of construction. Indrum is in charge of lumber milling and deforestation.
One's operations, one's actual supply.
Correct. But you can hear a lot of work going inside and it sounds like outside in the back behind the establishment itself. That you can see even Veriforn's like, it's best not to interrupt them when they're heavy into work. Bit of a fiery tempers. But definitely good drinking companions. As long as you can handle them. We'll continue on, and he'll continue down and around to this intersection, and then cut up. And directly in front, you guys see about 6 to 7 stalls of different food types. You got vegetables, and you've got fruits, prepared meals, and the whole like. This is our little food market where you can gather supplies for creating your own meals or get already pre-prepared meals made for you. As far as things like rations and whatnot go, this would also be a best place to get them for any of your traveling food needs.
Good to know.
Herbs and spices can also be acquired here. The inventory is constantly changing with the seasons, as well as how fruitful some of the harvests are. So, though some things tend to stay regular, other things do disappear depending on what season it is. And he heads to the left towards this one. He goes, this is our construction office. If you, like I had mentioned earlier, ever decide to have a place of your own created, this would be the location that you would put forth the blueprints, permits, and everything like that to settle a little portion of this land for your own building. and the construction office here will take care of setting up the different contractors needed to finish your construction for you, so you don't need to haggle and deal with everyone else. You just come here, submit your plans, and they'll give you the overall price on what needs to be done and the time frame.
And who runs this place?
This one is actually not currently technically run by any one person. It is more of a conglomeration of all the different merchants here in town working together. But the main proprietor that you would be dealing with as far as a general manager of some sorts, that is going to be our Triton female of Eddyn, Eddyn. She has a penchant for conversation and a charismatic nature, so she'd be the best one to get you the best prices for any of the other merchants here in town. She is no nonsense though, so if you go to her to get something done, you best be prepared for it to move quickly and efficiently. Now, if we head back down the street here to this corner shop, though small, it definitely has some of the more lucrative dealings. It's our jeweler. Make sure I got the right dude, because I don't want to get the wrong name out for this one.
I have a feeling we're going to be visiting this one.
Whatever
This was
whatever do
Palestine.
you mean?
This is run by Towin, Towin. A decently elder gnomish gentleman who has deep connections to some of the nearby countries that others of us don't really have the solid connection to. Cough, cough, Gashabia, cough. But has a whole host of different gems and mineral stones that may be needed for spell work, for jewelry, and whatever may be your fancy. He's a little hard of hearing, so you may want to speak up when you do ever enter his store, but is an amicable elderly gentleman and just an overall nice fellow as far as my interactions with many of the older gnomes have never been.
Poor man just recently lost an idiot wizard son.
Or brother, or best friend.
Are we also going to make the assumption that Eddyn is married to Nogos? Because they're both Tritons.
No, they work on opposite ends of the town. Why would that be?
So they can cover more area
Or,
for driving business.
or recently divorced.
Right?
Yeah, that could be it too. They could be, looking for other fish in the sea.
Look at us already getting into the social
Gossip,
business of
gossip team. All right, and then we have a couple more establishments to our south that are currently uninhabited, but are prepared for whatever future businesses or merchants, or if possibly one of our, because this one is one of our larger ones, if some of our other merchants in town start to drive a little bit more business and want to upgrade their space, There's this one that's available. But last but not least, as far as our merchants are concerned, is the blacksmith. Obviously, the majority of our town is dealt with in the wood sense, but I have a feeling that just as I tend to visit the blacksmith a bit more than the regular people of this town, you all might have need of knowing who runs this establishment. So,
That would be.
you go inside as he's like, follow me this time. We should make introductions. Understood.
Okay.
And he walks in, and the front door isn't really a door. It's just a tapestry cut in half. And he goes inside, and inside it is hot.
That tapestry feels like a fire hazard.
Oh, it's enchanted. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, good.
But there are currently the inside of this building is much larger than it seems to be on the outside, and there are about 4 different forges going on in here at once.
Wow.
Verforn kind of comes in and quickly takes a look around and doesn't see anybody. Neither does anyone here, and he just kind of looks around. Where did he go? And then all of you hear above yourself, where did he go?
Oh my god, really?
Verifore kind of like, there you are. Everyone, this is Fireball. And you guys see Kenku, who is currently holding the upper rafter above the door and kind of just like peering down at you guys. Yes. Fireball. Who are these people? Well, Fireball, this is the Bad Decisions. See, Jordan gestures to you all as you kind of like shuffle around to be looking at him, and then he drops down from the ceiling in front of you, and only residing about 4 feet tall. A deep scar runs across what would be the right shoulder and down the right side. A little bit of silvering to the feathers. A little bit of an older Kenku.
Alright.
But he goes up to you, Tamberley, first, and extends out his hand. Fireball.
Amberlay, nice to meet you.
Tamberley, nice to meet you. And then shuffles over to Chadra. Fireball.
Chadra.
Chadra. And he shakes your hand and gives you the nod. And then shuffles next to Valis. Fireball.
Valis.
Valis.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. And shuffles over to Twunk. Fireball.
Twunk. And then kind of like noticeably out of habit, he kind of like gives like a light whistling sound.
Well, I'm not going to do the whistle, but he does the whistle. And kind of tweaks his head to the side as if understanding. And kind of like feathers fluffle a little bit. And gives you a whistle back in which you would understand as wonderful to meet you. And then he kind of shuffles back over next to Veriforn and looks up at him. And he goes, Fireball. And he goes, yes, I know who you are and you know who I am. And Fireball kind of like ducks behind him, pulls on his helmet a little bit, makes Veriforn sort of shuffle with it to catch it from falling, and then goes back up into the rafters and looks down.
Hey, what can I do for ya?
Well, Fireball, Bad Decisions here is part of the Hearth, the new group that has come to help the town out and with expeditions and possibly growing the town of Terramesh. So I wanted to make sure that you all had an acquaintance, and he knew who the best blacksmith in not only this land but all the lands was, and I'm sure you all would be seeing much of each other as we continue on. Fireball just goes, "Oh, stop it." Well, it's true, Fireball. Who else can handle, and he turns to the four forges that are raging, all this at once? Let alone someone of your stature and size. You give even the mightiest of giants a run for their money when it comes to forging.
Valis just putting two and two together. Wait. He's the blacksmith?
The best one that you'll ever find.
Well,
Twunk just kind of like turning his head. Do you doubt his abilities?
I'm just flabbergasted at this point. I like dumbfounded look on my face, speechless, staring at Valis.
I like kind of like whisper, wouldn't his feathers burn?
Not if he knows what he's doing. Do you think that he uses his bare hands?
I mean, no, but just being in here is uncomfortable. I would think.
Fireball, please excuse my brother's ignorance.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Everyone's got a little
Flanagan here
dum
is
dum
actually
inside.
quite comfortable.
Did he say that?
Fireball, yeah.
You understand.
Everyone's got to learn sometime. Today's the day. I've had damn near 2 years working with a Kenku in Group 1, so I am prepped
Oh
for
my
this.
god.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
This is amazing.
I've been playing one for about 2.5 to 3.
Yeah, so I'm ready for this. So if you guys ever need anything of Fireball, he's more than capable of handling not only minor repairs, but full conscriptions, as well as some, if you ever want to bounce ideas off of him of creating something new, it's more than capable and very ingenious when it comes to new designs. And still
His
up
most
in the
recent
rafters.
design was combining a gun and a blade into the same weapon.
With,
Have you been reading my notebook?
with the words of praise from Veraforn, Fireball just gives a bow. Chadrick, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Roger that.
First one ever.
First roll of the campaign. Do.
Best perception ever.
That's a 10.
That was the DC. You do smell something very familiar in the way of nitrate.
Okay.
So you get a sense of... It explains how hot it is in here. But Fireball must use probably an interesting mixture of coal and nitrate to get the fire extra hot in his
Okay.
forges. You working with nitrate so much, you know that smell.
Would Valis
not keenly enough to pull it out of the air.
Okay.
Like if you see it on a table, you've seen it on your sister's workbench before, so you would be able to do that. But just being able to smell it in the heat and humidity of this shop, you wouldn't be able to pull that specific smell out. If it was something like sulfur, then yeah, that's a little bit easier to smell. But nitrate's a very particular smell.
And I feel like the Valis just wouldn't have been allowed to go anywhere near the nitrate,
No.
so...
Oh no.
Nope.
Valis isn't allowed near any of.
Just because he's not allowed doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Yeah, he knows that he's
doesn't
not allowed to touch
stop
her
him.
stuff.
We'll say it was early on in her prototyping. All right, Fireball. Well, we won't take any more of your time. Just wanted to make sure everyone got to know each other. And like I said, I'm sure they will be back shortly to be abreast of your fine skills. And Verforn sort of gestures towards the door. Fireball just kind of gives each one of you a little nod bow from above the door as you guys exit.
I bow as I exit.
I'm looking around at everything that's in there, kind of taking a mental note. Probably one of the last ones to leave. Very much interested in everything in there.
Yeah, there's a lot in here that you want to play with.
Yep.
Stuff
Now
that
I
you've
know
never
exactly
seen before, and you're just like, what the fuck is that for?
Hey, have you guys seen Jadra? Fuck, she's at the blacksmith again, isn't she?
I mean, not mad about it.
Could be like Valis and be at the bar.
No, it could be like Valis be at the fish stall.
Aw. Is that what we're calling the local I mean, never mind.
We don't have one of those yet, but I was working on it. I was thinking about it.
And
That
the
large
place-
building on the corner.
Yeah, the place across from the inn is open.
Yeah, I was looking at the
place
one on the
across
corner.
from the blacksmith is open.
So is the one that's down south of the blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a little bit more seclusion.
Yeah, that way it's on the
Yeah,
edge of
same.
town, and people are less likely to be angry that the whores are there.
But it's definitely like you see anybody walking that way that doesn't live in one of those nearby houses, you're just like, we know where you're going.
Yeah, you're not
Isn't
going to the
there a
grocery
place,
store,
like-
James.
Right across from the inn as well.
Yeah, that one's empty.
Also,
Get some bright, juicy tomatoes.
my favorite thing so far has been like you going through this town with us and all of the great like names and like the cool like backstories and stuff. And then the tannery is ran by Jeff and Joe. Like that's it. Granted, it's Joseph and Jeffrey, but
Yeah.
like you're like fuck these people.
That's how Veriforn feels. And it's very obvious too that he's just like, yeah, they exist. Anyway,
It's like, and
I mean-
here's the tannery ran by Joe and Jeff. Fuck those guys. Nobody
To
likes
be
them.
honest, have you ever been to a tannery before?
Yes.
Oh, they smell so bad.
Yes.
So-
I hate Joe and Jeff. They smell.
And they always bring it in when they come to drink. Ugh. Take a shower.
God, you don't have to come here straight from work. You live next door to the building.
you don't have to wear your newest piece every time.
Right.
But
You
Veriforn, with you guys outside, So, that's the majority of our little town here so far. As you can see, there's plenty of places and opportunity for growth, and hopefully we're able to expand sooner than later. But any questions, and as we make our way back to the hearth?
Yeah.
All right.
Nah.
Over time, you'll get to know all the different individuals that live here. If you become well known and well liked enough, sometimes they'll offer small jobs and such for you to do that is technically outside the purview of the hearth. But if you're not currently on contract for anything, you are more than welcome to take any small jobs that they may offer. Especially if you get to know the merchants well enough, they all the time are requesting either new items or different tasks and such that they need finished for themselves. That, as you can see, most of these places are run by a single individual. Some run by duos, but everyone needs a helping hand every now and again.
I hate to ask, but if I need some clothes made, am I gonna have to do that myself? Because you did not go by like I don't know, any place that I could buy fabric
tailor?
or or tailor anything.
Well, the leatherworking would be the first place to go. They
Alright.
they take the hides and strip them down into the thinnest of. It almost feels like fleece sometimes. How thin they can slice it down. But a lot of the clothing and anything that might be cloth based, we get transported into the port.
Okay.
So once every 3 weeks or so, we put in an order for some nearby towns that can fulfill said things. We have a list of prices for certain things, and if something is requested new, then we'll usually send whoever goes on that journey with a little bit of extra gold to make the purchase if necessary, and receipts are always kept. I believe our next, we'll be sending a boat out here in about 4 days.
Okay.
So if you do have anything that you require, you can definitely come to me and I will put it in the manifest. But anything that we don't have here specifically can always be ordered in. And round trip, it usually takes 3 days.
That's not too bad.
That's
Not too bad at all.
pretty good.
And at this point in time, it's not a long walk to get back to the hearth.
Mm-hmm.
But he stops
Mhm.
at the front of the hearth, helmet now between both of his hands in front of his chest. So with that, that's the official welcome to the town of Terramesh. I spend the majority of my time here, either in the hall or in my room. If you don't find me here, I'm out amongst the people and the different shops. I spend a lot of time with Volgart and Nogos and Fireball. So if you can't find me in any of those places, Charles spends the majority of his time here at the hearth. You can reach out to him and he can magically reach out to me.
All right.
And if that is all, then wander, eat, interact, do what you will, but welcome to the town of Terramesh.
Thank you.
Real quick, I couldn't help but notice you didn't really talk much about the tannery.
I'm gonna punch him in the fucking thigh.
It's a tannery. There's not much to discuss in the way of what they do.
Well, what about the people that run it?
I told you it was a father-son duo.
Oh, yeah, okay. It Alice just kind of
I wasn't
Like-
kidding, by the way.
You can go ahead and
Roll
roll
fast
damage for an
occurred to
unarmed
me.
strike.
Take 5 points of damage right in the thigh.
Just immediate dead leg.
never mind.
Yeah.
It's
All
so
right.
Speaking of which, just like looking at the injured Valis, just like, who takes care of the health and well-being of this place.
We do have a traveling doctor that comes through our town. Usually, if anyone is sick enough to require it, we put in the requests and they'll come through. But I myself have a little bit of healing powers, so I can cure some of the minor faculties. As far as anything a little bit more dire, we get the doctor to come in.
I would be more than happy to offer my assistance should they need it.
That is more than generous, and if it is ever needed, I will know who to fall back upon. Thank you.
Gives another hand and fist bow.
He's still holding his helmet, so he just does the nodded bow. Okay. Well, until we see each other again, and I will make sure to let one of you or all of you know once I have another job lined up. But until then, I currently need to do some paperwork saying that you have all arrived and whatnot. But I bid you all adieu.
We'll probably see you at dinner.
He gives the nod and then walks into the hearth and immediately, well, talks to Charles for a couple seconds and then heads upstairs. So welcome to the town of Terramesh, everyone.
Yay!
You've had your introductions.
Valus's first dead leg.
One of many.
Yeah, I will immediately turn to him and hiss, "Social cues, you big buffoon!
Yeah,
I didn't want to talk about it. Stop asking about it."
I'm gonna same thing. He's gonna get a jab in the chest from a little pointed finger. You need to read the room. Behave yourself.
I'm sorry, I just thought he skipped over it.
On purpose.
Intentionally, yes.
And speaking of, if y'all wouldn't mind, I'd like to run over there and talk to them real quick. If you know,
The tanner or the leather?
the Tanner.
All right. Yeah. Let's go.
I mean,
I'm down.
you don't have to come with me if you don't want to. I just have a question for them, and I don't even think they have the right answer for me. So
I'll go with Tamerlane. You guys, if you want to stay there or go elsewhere or come with us, cool.
I'm gonna look at Twonk and go, wanna go get some steak?
Did we not just eat no less than an hour ago?
Yeah, but Butcher was cutting up something fresh there, and never pass up a good steak.
So you can... Then pauses. Never mind. I shall accompany you.
In a chastising way, only an older sister can. I'm gonna pat Valus on the stomach and be like, maybe sometimes we should pass a steak.
Stop.
no, that's all right. He's just practicing to be that gnome. Hey, Valus.
Can
What-
that
what was that
gnome eat a
what was that
good
gnome's
steak?
name?
Oh, I don't know. Can that gnome even eat a steak?
With that belly, probably. So with a little bit of chastising from the elder sister before they depart, the two ladies make their way towards the tannery.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a peculiar stench to itself, as all
Yes,
tanneries do.
Yeah.
But not as strong as some tanneries that you've dealt with in the past. It seems that the second floor is relegated to a lot of the tanning, and it is not quite vapor sealed off, but definitely has probably 1, 2, maybe 3 doors separating the bottom floor from the top floor.
Okay.
That helps in some of that process.
Well, that's nice.
But as you enter, the bottom floor is currently a lot of hides that are basically done. They just need to get treated before getting passed along to the leather worker.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Perception. I'm real good at this.
You too, Chadra.
Okay.
Ooh.
20.
Though the majority, it's the height, eye level thing. There's a lot of stuff in her way. As far as all the hides that are set up and stretched out between the different bracket cages that they're using, Charger, you kind of peer through, and the majority of them seem like regular hides, except for one. It seems to be almost this scaled-like reptilian hide that's amongst the bunch here.
I wonder if that's the Drake hide.
Probably.
But it definitely looks tougher than the rest of them.
Was there anything like? I'm assuming that like Tamberlane and I wouldn't have walked over there in stone silence. I would assume because I'm
Most of the
terrible
time
at
it's
small
not.
talk.
Yeah.
So I would have just been trying to figure out what she was looking for so that we could just go in, find it, and possibly get out.
Oh, I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking for some help, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well, I figured, because they were talking about, using everything from whatever it is that we kill.
Yeah.
And they're obviously using the meat,
Mhm.
and they're using the hide and stuff.
Yep.
I was going to ask either Joseph or Jeffrey to maybe teach us how to skin something like that so that we get the most out of it instead of, cutting it up into little tiny pieces and making it useless on accident.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. With my 20 perception check, do I see Joseph or Jeffrey?
No one is down here currently. But there is a counter and there is a bell.
We will go to the bell then.
Okay. You grab hold of the rope and ding!
I'm so glad we didn't bring Valis.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, we would have made enemies day one.
That means you guys are choosing the side of Veraforn. Alright. But a sharp ding is echoed throughout, and you hear heavy footsteps above. You hear 3 doors open and close. Before coming down the steps is a younger Goliath man.
Oh, shit. That explains something.
That's got to be Jeffrey.
Yes.
Hello, how can I do for you?
Hi, Jeffrey, I presume.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Tamberlane. This is my friend Chadra. We're new around here.
Nice to meet you both.
I was just wondering, we keep hearing about how everything gets used from, we're with the Iron Hearth and everything gets used when we bring bounties back and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
the
I was
hearth,
just
that makes
wondering-
sense.
Yeah. And I was just wondering, is there any way, would you be the people to talk to maybe get a lesson in how to strip the hide from some of these creatures so that we get the most out of it instead of ruining it?
That's a wonderful question. I love that. Not a lot of you mercenary folks tend to really care about too much of that, and I appreciate it. As far as teaching goes, it's not something that can really be taught quickly, we could set up some sort of class scenario between myself and Joseph. But the easiest way, especially if you guys are out and have multiple creatures to bring back, is bringing them back to Volgart. I'm sure you've met him.
Yes.
Yes.
And he can skin anything.
Oh, perfect.
And he can take care of that. But if you need to do it out in the wild, sometimes encountering a creature when you're still on your quest, on your voyage to the location, and you don't want to take a dead body with you everywhere, the best way to do is to quarter it. So,
Okay.
taking off the head, taking off the legs, tail, if it has a tail.
Removing the insides.
Yes, splitting it down the middle and degutting it. And then finding the spine of said creature and cutting a nice clean one slice cut down the spine. That's the easiest way for anyone to learn.
Valis is familiar with the process. I wouldn't say that he doesn't have gentle hands.
Well, quartering doesn't require too much gentle touch, as long as they're accurate.
Okay. And I would get more detailed instruction from Volgard or from you and Joseph, or
If you wanted to set up a class, Volgard's not much of the patient teaching kind.
okay.
So it would be either myself or Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all have time, you
one
don't have a
second.
mission right now, so
Joseph! He yells up the stairs, and you hear some more footsteps, doors closing, and currently coming down in a full arms completely covered in leather gloves and the whole get up and a face mask and everything is a taller human male with a little salt and pepper to his hair and decently tan skin. He goes, what is it, Jeffrey?
Did you say human male?
Yes. These people were hoping to possibly get some lessons in skinning. I'm not sure. You taught me, but that was over quite a few years. I'm not sure if you would have a crash course sort of introductory package that we could teach them. I told them about the quartering, but if they wanted to get a little bit more refined in it. Yes. Would it be the two of you, or
I think it would just be me for now.
just you for yourself? How much of a hands-on quick learner are you?
Pretty good at things.
Okay.
I would be interested in attending the class, but I'm not sure about participating.
Well, we can do a perfunctory single-person class, and you can observe. And then if you feel like possibly getting your hands into the situation, then, we can have you into the class as well. I've done a few in the past.
Observation's fine for now.
I've done a few of these classes in the past in some other towns that I've worked in, so I have a good understanding that to get a decent knowledge of said things, it would take us about 5 classes.
All right.
About a half hour to an hour each.
Oh, not bad. Okay. That makes it easier to break up, just in case we have a mission or something.
Yes, and it's not so much, you're obviously not going to be a professional after it, but you learn the rudimentary ways to cut, slice, skin, and prepare things, so that way, as yourself, you just said, you're adventuring, things don't tend to reek immediately. the cuts are done well enough for you to bring back to either us or someone like Volgart that can clean it up without much fuss.
Okay.
But a class for one person, I would say that's about 50 gold,
All right.
10 gold a class. And that also pays for whatever we're working on.
Okay. Can I pay that now and then just
Of course,
when you're
yes.
available?
Yes, if you'd like to set that up now, that's more than fine.
Yeah.
Chadra will do the same.
Takes off the gloves and gives them to Jeffrey, who takes them to there's a back rack of like 4 pairs of gloves, and he puts them on there. Obviously, this being a small town, there's no need to, give out punch cards or anything like that to keep track of your classes.
Right.
So,
No, that's fine.
I would say the best days or the best times to swing around, to have it where we're not overly inundated with requests or anything like that would be just after breakfast. Somewhere in
All
the
right.
8 a.m. range.
Okay.
We'll get some new stock in, usually around there, from some of our farmers' livestock that are put down. And it's easier to work with some of the domesticated animals first before going into anything more exotic.
Right. The basics.
Exactly.
You wouldn't happen to have any literature on this, would you?
Unfortunately, to safeguard against too many people muscling in on the business, it's much more of a
That's fair.
handed down proficiency.
I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't mind you taking a lot of notes about it, though.
Would that be all right? That's
No, that's perfectly normal for a student to do so.
perfect. I'm going to give them the 50 gold.
All right.
Same.
All right. Pleasure doing business. And if you could give me a heads up the day before you want your class, that way I can make sure I have set aside some stuff for you all.
Well, since
we've
we
got-
don't know when we're going to get... Go ahead.
I think sorry. I believe he said we have a couple of days, most likely, at least until the other group comes back, and I don't think he said there was anything pressing.
That
Right,
sounds
so,
like
tomorrow morning sounds great.
all right. I do have a few domesticated carcasses coming in, so easy enough to do.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I'm excited to teach yet again.
Thank you very much for your help. I really appreciate it.
Yes, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Not at all, and see you all tomorrow.
Is
All
there
right.
anything that we need to bring?
Nope, it's all included in the cost.
Okay, just making sure.
Not a problem. And he takes 2 new gloves that Jeffrey has come over with from him, almost like a doctor putting them on, and then he makes his way up the stairs.
And it was a pleasure meeting both of you.
Yeah, the pleasure is all ours. Can't wait to look forward. I haven't seen him teach since he taught me, so it'd be fun to sit in and watch as well.
Cool. All right. Well, have a good afternoon.
You as well.
And
Goodbye.
when we get outside, I'll look up at Chadra. I am so fucking excited for this.
I'm excited also. I don't plan on participating as much.
Oh, I'm sure. I have a feeling you're going to be taking some great notes, though.
Just in case someone else has to do it.
Oh, I was just thinking just in case I forgot.
That could work too.
That brings us over to the boys. Twunk is probably following Valis, who is probably a little bit more excited than he is, as they make their way over to the butcher.
Yes.
As you guys approach, all you see is currently above the second floor of the shop in front of you. You just see two giant arms that currently are holding, it looks like a full cow, and he's slowly ripping it apart.
I have a question, Val.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with how you skin a rabbit?
Yep.
Okay. I imagine that's what Volgart. That's how Volgart skins cows. Is how I imagine this.
Not too far off.
Okay.
This cow is already skinned. He's just cracking it in half,
Okay.
lengthwise.
Valis is just gonna look up. Magnificent.
And then once it's split in half, the arms retreat back to the back of the shop.
I'm gonna look at Twunk and make sure he's with me. Go, well, you ready?
It's like he literally never left your side and has been staring very intently at every move that you make.
He already accidentally
Yes.
touch imprinted on a gnome, so
Yeah. He's 2 for
What
2
else?
today, that's for sure.
What else could go wrong?
Oh, plenty can go wrong.
you're about to interact with
Actually-
someone who just split a cow in half with his hands. There is a lot that can go
Actually,
wrong.
you know what? Twunk is also just kind of like turning like a rose in his hand, just absent-mindedly, as he's watching Valis.
Okay. So where are you going, Valis?
I'm gonna go into the butcher shop.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
So you go inside, and the smell smacks you in the face of just a whole bunch of bloodletting.
Carcass.
There are drains all over the floor. It seems, and it's cold in here too, which immediately makes Twunk puff up. And the building itself is 2 stories on the outside, but going inside, it's just 1 story with a very high roof. Along the walls on the side, along the walls inside this building, there are plenty of different meat carcasses that are just pinned to the walls, and the last remnants of blood and everything just dripping off of them. Along the main floor of this area, as well as you guys walk in and feel the cold, there are plenty of carcasses that are currently hanging on what would basically be like clothes racks. Also releasing the last remnants of fresh blood from there. There is a counter about halfway through this first floor. Behind the counter, there's more carcasses that have been... it seems like the ones back here are being left to dry. They seem not significantly older, but much less wet than the ones that are in the main area. But at the counter, there is a small gavel and a bell.
I am going to ring the bell.
Okay. You take the gavel and you hit the side of the bell with the gavel. A loud,
Yep.
deep boom cracks out. And
How many times do you hit it?
well, he can only hit it once because that thing vibrates like a son of a bitch, and he's having a hard time just holding on to that gavel after that.
Yep.
Right, but it wouldn't stop him from trying, because he's
I'm
him.
giggling because I'm trying and I can't.
You hear shortly after hitting the gong, 1 second. And then you hear a interesting squishing that happens out what looks like the back door of this place, which seems awfully small for an ogre. And then you realize that the entire back half of this building opens up. As instead of it being a wall, it's actually a door, a double door, this entire back half of this building. As Volgart opens it up and kneels down and like leans inside over the counter and goes, "Hi, welcome to Volgart. Hey, I remember you guys."
How's it going?
Going good. Plenty of meat.
It's always good. We were actually here to see you about that. Your meat was so good, I wanted to come in and get what you would suggest. I want to get your finest cut.
Oh. Well, that I can do. Finest cut. And he kind of like leans up and reaches up alongside the wall about 15 feet up and grabs a carcass and the pinning off the wall and like brings it down decently quickly and slams it on the counter in front of you.
Part of me really wanted you to pull out a great sword. It's like, I'm gonna make it now.
You're going to be my prime cut.
And he's holding it with just like 2 fingers.
Yep. Like the swords and the sandwiches.
Yeah.
Instead of toothpicks, just swords.
Yeah. Get a free short sword with every sandwich. Let me see his inventory. Okay, I want to make sure I got the right name of this. So, the carcass that he brings down isn't like any of the cows or pigs or some of the other, like, there's wolf in here too. It doesn't seem to have 4 legs. But it is a solid cut of meat, about 4 foot long and about 2.5 feet wide. And he goes, "This comes from a giant snake. Very rare to get it fresh. Out of the entire snake, only 2 of these portions were cut, and 1 was used in the town feast a couple weeks ago. I've been holding on to this one for a special occasion, and if you want the best cut, then this is it."
You said the town feast?
Yeah, we have a town feast once a month.
And we missed this month. Well,
Don't worry, another one's coming up soon.
They kind of happen every month.
how much does something like this usually cost?
Do you want the whole slab, or just some fillets?
Just a taste. Just a little.
Well, I can cut off little steaks from this. They would be about...
That works.
And he, like, takes this... What would be abnormally large for any sort of usefulness of a cleaver for anyone else. It looks small in his hand. He
You
kinda,
mean a great axe?
to a degree. And like pinches the meat just delicately enough and takes the cleaver and does a nice little shk, and then slaps the steak down in front of you. And we're talking like a 48 ouncer.
Oh my god.
And then he goes, I can do little steaks like this, and that'll be about 25 gold a steak. The slab was 2,500 gold.
I love the idea of a little steak being 48 ounces.
To him, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
No. I know.
Right.
I know.
Bigger
To
than
him,
Chevrolet's head.
he goes, I will take the, and he looks down, smiles, little steak.
I think that's what, a 3-pound steak.
60 ounces per
Or
pound.
so yeah.
Valis has just been
like a full
very
tri-tip.
happy.
I know.
Yes.
That's a good size tri-tip.
Mhm.
You said 25 gold?
It's the size of a tri-tip that I have marinating currently in my fridge.
Ooh.
You said 48 ounces?
Yep.
Yeah, 48 ounces.
Yeah, it's 3 pounds.
Valis pulls 25 gold out and hands him 25 gold.
Pleasure doing business with you. Please
I like-
come back for any of your meat needs.
I like
Oh, we
imagining.
will.
I like imagining that this ogre is just like, I don't know who he's gonna feed with that, but it's clearly not enough.
He did say he wanted a taste.
I did.
This is a sample size.
But before he goes, I'm gonna ask him, where do you get your meats from?
Well, this snake was killed by Veriform. Usually, something like the cows and such here are livestock, while others are from the beasts, and he points to like the wolves, are from the beasts in the forest.
So, if someone were to come across a deer or a bear and wanted to bring it to you, would you pay them for it?
Well, it happens all the time, and it's one of two things. Either they want me to clean it for them, or they just sell it to me. So obviously, if I'm just cleaning it for them, then they pay me. But if they're just selling me, then I pay them.
Very interesting. Valis goes, so if I drop anything and I bring it to you, you'll skin it up?
Yeah?
And goes, yeah, don't gotta do the dirty work. Well, I will definitely be back.
Good to hear. Anything for your friend? Sorry, Volgart not great with names. He's talking to you, Twunk.
Twunk.
Twunk, as he says with a big smile on his face.
I am here to supervise in his sister's stead.
Oh, I know all about that. Well then,
still kind of like twirling a rose in one of his hands.
You almost sink one boat. All of a sudden.
2.
You guys have a great day and don't touch anything on your way out.
Oh, this is such a small town. Rumors already got around. We've been here an hour. We made one lap around the town, and they all know Valis. Oh, he's the one who burnt down the old shop. Don't you remember?
If not now, then they're about to, because Volgart now has this, like, oh, that guy needs to be chaperoned.
Yeah.
Just like imagine, like, huh, looks like everybody's files came. Why is this one a book?
Wait, why does this one say of 5?
Oh God.
Valis's folder is just a fucking dossier. Oh, they didn't all fit on the ship. The next ones will be here on the next one.
It's an arrest record instead.
Rest records,
Juvie records.
Juvie
Instead of
records.
an artist rendering, it's a mugshot.
Summation of charges, list of damages.
Psychological
Debts.
Just a
profile.
lot of bond jumping. So with that, you guys make your way safely out of the butcher shop. And roughly about the same time, because it's right down the street from one another, the girls will be coming back from the tannery.
What the hell is that?
Valis is just petting the butcher paper. It's the best.
Did he put
cut
it in
the
butcher paper?
house. I don't know.
Here.
Did he?
No, he did
I
not.
don't believe you said so.
He-
Bro, you're just holding a raw steak.
I'm just holding a raw. Fuck yeah.
a giant raw steak. Yeah.
Savage. Giant raw steak. Yeah, I'm just holding it, and just like looking at it, just like drools hanging down my mouth. It was the best cut in the house.
You need to refrigerate that.
How did you live with him so long?
Please do not drool in front of the women.
There was about 35 years where we didn't live together. 35 wonderful, quiet years.
Bad. Okay. All right.
If you were bored, admit it.
If that's what you mean by happy.
You would be bored without me.
While
and-
we're over there, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna ignore.
Oh, I thought you were trying to put that steak near me. I was like, don't do it.
That little like pond thing. Is that like a watering hole or?
No, it's a pond.
Okay. Like, are there people swimming in it?
No.
Yeah, is it like a gross pond or is it like a fairly clean looking pond?
It's still fairly clean, but it's not like a swimming pond.
Okay.
There's
It's like a duck pond.
Yeah, there's a small ecosystem to it.
Never mind then.
But there it doesn't show up on the map, but there is a well behind the fish stall
Mhm.
and to the side of the iron hearth.
Okay, roger that. So right about where like that tree is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah. Val's with the, big ass thing of meat in its
The
hand.
tri-tip.
The tri-tip. The snake tri-tip. It's gonna start heading toward the iron heart,
Okay.
especially with suggesting it needs to be refrigerated.
Everyone in tow?
Yeah.
A few feet back, but yeah.
Yeah, understandable. Definitely catching some eyes as Valis is just walking through with a giant slab of meat in his hands.
Very proud.
staring at it, mind you. Staring at it, probably.
Drooling.
Yeah.
Very proud.
But you make your way back to the hearth. Charles greets you and sees the meat and goes, You want me to take care of that?
Oh, he goes, yes, please. If I don't know who you got cooking, but dinner.
Oh my God.
I can prep it for dinner, but you literally ate like an hour ago.
Yeah, we were just here and he was
This
doing
is
the
what
cooking.
I told him.
It's 2 p.m.
Yeah, we made a lot.
You ate almost a 20-ounce steak.
Yeah, dinner. I was thinking about dinner. Totally dinner.
And as you are turned, your head's turned over your shoulder, talking to the group at this, all of a sudden you feel the weight sort of get lighter of the steak in your hand as Charles has taken out a meat hook and has just fucking hooked it right in between your hands. He goes, I'll store it in the chiller.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
He goes behind the bar to the thing that you saw Verifort open up earlier and places the meat inside.
Wait. Not
the basement.
Okay.
The right
Making
next
sure.
right next to the stove. They've got like a freezer.
Meat cooler, not body cooler.
Yeah.
Body
Right,
full,
right
meat cooler.
next to that little gnome's body, just because.
And your steak is actually in the hands of the gnome.
You imprint it on the steak.
It is the
That sounds like a mistake to me.
Oh, the steak humor.
That's Mr.
Oh, I
Steak to you.
miss the group so much.
Oh, I've got some good news. I get to rip flesh off a body tomorrow.
And I get to take
mean-
notes.
I get to I get to skin something tomorrow. Learn how to skin things.
Well, that's cool. I was thinking of going hunting, maybe making a little gold.
Go for it. I'm gonna learn how to.
Just I want to imagine just like behind Valis, so like really only like Tamperley and Chadra can see it, but Twonk's face is just suddenly crestfallen.
About him hunting.
Yeah, when he hears that.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna have to follow this guy hunting tomorrow, aren't I?
Yeah, because we're going to a class.
Yeah.
You've officially become Valis's
no.
babysitter.
Oh, I don't want that to happen.
Oh, just wait until Valis.
No.
You are gonna be in the woods with a druid. You better be on your best behavior.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was. It's
He
gonna
can make
be
anything
Valis'
seem like an
best
accident out
friend.
there.
What happened to Valis? I don't know. He just went for a walk.
It never came back.
We were attacked by a giant bear. I don't know where it came from.
Barely.
He
escaped.
wipes blood off of.
Luckily, any blood from a wild shape form doesn't transfer over when you change it back.
I mean, that's convenient. We were attacked by a Frenchman.
No,
Penny
thank
lives
you.
again.
I'm not hungry for lunch. Thanks.
I just ate. I mean, I had a big breakfast.
Mhm.
Oh shoot. Is Charles just like hanging around?
Cleaning, prepping. I mean, he's cleaning all the pots and pans from lunch and getting things ready
I
for
will-
dinner.
Can I slide in there and start helping him?
Not really.
Okay.
It's more of just
Um,
like a. No, I've got. He's very particular.
Okay. Hey Charles. Just real quick. We've got a class tomorrow morning, right about 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know what time y'all serve breakfast around here.
6.
6. Oh. Okay.
It's 6 to 7.
Okay, then it shouldn't be a problem.
No.
Perfect. Wow. And lunch is served around noon,
Correct.
and dinner.
11:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
Dinner is also 6 to 7.
6 to 7. Got it. Okay.
Makes it nice and easy.
Keep the timetables up. Yeah.
What classes are you
Um,
taking?
Oh, Chandra and I have a skinning class tomorrow morning.
With Volgard?
No, with Joseph and Jeffrey.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, don't tell your dad. Sorry about that. I just,
Well, that's okay. Yeah.
I'm doing it out of necessity.
No. That getting part of the town. It's a good thing.
Does your father offer skinning classes?
He's not much of the. He'll take whatever he kills to Volgard. If you want classes on how to kill something, then he's got you covered there.
Valis?
I go. I already know how to kill
That's a
something.
good idea. Why don't you go out with?
It's more of later on if someone wants to multi-class into fighter, there's an option.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I'm not going to take that option. Sorry.
well.
Because you're already a fighter.
Yeah.
He is.
Like, no, you're gonna double up on fighter. Just like I'm gonna take level 1 fighter again.
He's a fighter paladin, so technically either could work, but he mostly teaches fighting.
Nice. I would like to head over to Fireball with notes, my gun, all of, my stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up to the room and grab as much of my stuff as possible.
You need help?
Sure, it might be a little boring.
I mean, what? Watching a Kenku work 4 forges at the same time? That is not boring.
It may be a lot of reading of notes at first.
Oh, you know what? I always need a nap.
I was gonna say
Okay.
5 minutes into the tinkering, Tannervlay's just in the corner. Oh my god!
Jesus Christ, enough with the math, please. That's how I feel, so.
I'll stick it out as long as I can.
Okay, so the
Valis is gonna yell. Can you see if he does arrows?
I totally didn't hear that. I'm so focused on the fact that I get to talk to somebody about my notes.
Yes, I will ask about arrows.
Thank you, Taberlay.
How many do you need?
I don't need any right now. I just want to see if he does them, just in case I need them later on.
Sure. I will ask.
Would that not be the specialty of a Fletcher?
Yeah, I don't know if they have one around here. I mean, if you look at it this way, you've got a bird person that makes He's got everything he needs to make arrows.
That's rude.
Be careful. Be careful when saying such a term around them.
Oh my god!
He's a bird in the middle of the woods. That's a blacksmith. You're 100% right. He's got the feathers. He's got the sticks. He's got the metal.
Yeah, he's got everything. I will ask him, and I will ask how much they are.
He's bald on one of his little Kenku legs from making arrows.
Horrible. Shut up. Wow.
all right then. So the girls run up, grab a bunch of things, carrying the majority of Chadra's items back down with her. As they shuffle through the door and head towards Fireball.
See.
Getting to the establishment, same. Tapestry is there in front, still open. And as soon as you guys walk in, you're just hit with the heat,
Yeah.
as all 4 forges are still going. Then there's this, everyone's looking around. Then there's this moment in the middle of this entire area, pillars go down the middle of the building. And just poking his head out behind one of the pillars, he goes, "Hello."
Good afternoon. By any chance, are you busy?
Kind of just stops and looks to the two forges, then looks to the two forges.
Is there-
Been worse.
I wanted to talk to you about a project that I've been working on, and I'm gonna like walk over and like kind of to as close as I can without like getting in his way, and like start talking about stuff in the book and like pointing at different things in my notes.
Ooh, pretty.
And he
Yes,
kind of gesture you over to a finishing table.
Okay, and I go over there and I would have probably I don't know Tamerlane. I guess you could carry the gun.
Yes, before we get too in depth with this, I just have a real quick question. Do you sell arrows?
Yeah. And he just points
Perfect.
to the far wall, and you see somewhere in the range of about 300 to 400 arrows.
Perfect. And what is the rate for that?
Well, these arrows are different than most arrows that you've seen.
Oh, are they?
I should hope, considering they're inside this. Sweltering hot.
The arrows themselves are majority made out of a certain type of metal,
Oh
with-
shit!
with only the feathers and the fletching on the back end being different.
Damn, they heavy.
Yeah. So they can only be fired out of longbows and heavy crossbows, as far as the bolts
That's
go.
yeah, bolts.
But since
They're
they're so
thumpers.
heavy, they half the distance. But they do an extra damage die.
All right. And what is the rate for these?
The rate for them. Notes. There we go. Scroll to Fireball. Just search for it. Okay, that makes more sense. It's a golden arrow.
I figured.
I didn't know you were an archer, Tamerlane.
No, I was gonna buy one for your brothers so I could show him
Oh,
what is available.
I'll cover it for him.
Oh, it's fine. I have plenty, and I'm not in a hurry.
Okay.
Then I'll hand over a gold.
So, with a quickness, he darts over to the wall, grabs one off, brings it back to you.
And I will. I'll reach into my bag and pull out some old clothes that I have in there and wrap it around and then put it back in.
Okay. As far as these arrows go, they are a pound apiece.
Okay.
They are made out of solid iron.
Oh Jesus.
Ooh.
There are some that are made out of silver as well, for things that need silvered weapons.
Oh.
But they obviously cost more.
Obviously.
Do
Alright,
they
and then I
notice?
will put Chadra's gun on the counter where she is talking about it, and I will step back and have a seat.
Fireball immediately jumps onto the table and is just like peering down.
I'm gonna just start showing him like the mechanisms, like the loading process, like going over everything that is incredibly complex and most people wouldn't understand, but just under the assumption and guise that he knows.
Yeah, as you reach out to do grab the gun, at first you're like, oh, he's in my way because he's like standing over the top of it. But like deftly as you move your arms and start to maneuver the gun, he is like ballet dancing around. So he's not actually getting in your way at all, but is like definitely right there in your shit, taking a look at everything you're doing.
Yeah, and as I'm showing him, I'm pointing to like the notes that I have referencing whatever it is, and like the it's got more of the technical details in there of like the dimensions of things and whatnot.
You get oohs, ahs, Sometimes when you go to something new, you go, "Ooh, what does that do?" Before you can even, and then you go, "Well, let me tell you." And hearing the excitement in his voice gets you a little bit more excited to explain everything.
And then also I would show him the wrist whip as well.
Once that happens, he's just like all up in your sleeve and
I'll take it off and hand it to him. I'll let him.
trying to figure it out. He's trying to like attach it to his arm.
No. It goes like this.
Oh. And even he will unload the thing. He sort of understood the unloading mechanic when you explained it on the rifle. So before he fully attaches the wrist whip, he's going to unload it. And you've gone to the right person. That they've already picked up on how to handle
If you'd
it.
like to test it, we can. You're more than welcome.
He's going to reach out and almost grab your hand, and then he's going to stop and he's going to look at you. Ask for consent first. And then grab your
Okay.
hand and go before you even answer.
Oh, we'll be right back.
Everybody's just sitting there, like, trying not to giggle in delight, watching this creature just, like, go all ham over chatter where nobody else gives a shit. Because
Yeah.
it's so boring.
They don't disappear out of sight completely, but they definitely go further down behind the forges and
Okay.
everything. And Chadra, he basically takes you to where he practices with the iron arrows. It is sandbags upon hay bales with a target on the front end as well. And you can see some of the damage that those arrows have done. Like,
Okay.
there's plenty of tossed target rings along the side that they've just been completely decimated. Make a perception check.
Oh.
That's a 1. Natural 1.
You're too focused on where he's going and how he's prepping things to pick up on too much back here. But he gets to the starting point. It's about 30 yards away from the target, and he slaps in the mag for the wrist whip,
All right.
cocks it, and then like look.
Did you say you said 30 yards?
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, 30 feet.
Okay, I was gonna say that's max range, so 30 feet would be.
So he cocks it, and then he looks down at it, and he goes, "Safety?"
I'll show him where the safety's at.
Oh no, he pulls out goggles and hands it to you.
Oh, well, good plan. And I'll put them on, and I'll take a step from. Let's see, probably a step back and to the right, so that the casing would go the other direction.
Okay. He puts his goggles on, and then he aims forward, and we'll just do a. Shoots it right through the ceiling. Whoa!
Oh, God.
Are you okay?
That was awesome.
It sort of was.
Let's do it
Go
again.
ahead. Let's do it.
This time he hits the target. Not quite bullseye, but second ring.
Wait 1 second, and I'm gonna run back in, and I'm gonna grab the rifle.
Oh, I've got to see this.
I'm gonna grab the rifle, and then I'll tell him like, safety on, pointing at the wrist whip that he's holding,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna see if there's like a piece of. Is there like a piece of firewood or something on the ground, like scrap wood?
Not because he uses coal and nitrate, so
Okay.
he doesn't really have like extra wood around, but he does have lead blocks.
Awesome. I'll grab. Oh,
Yeah.
Tamberlay. Tamberlay.
Yes.
Can you help me?
Sure.
And I'll have her grab one of the lead blocks.
What do you want me to do with it?
We're
Make
gonna
a-
walk out about
Make an
200.
athletics check.
Okay.
Because he just points.
17?
she just points to the lead block, and can you take that and move it over near the target?
Sure.
And you're just like, oh, son of a bitch, this is heavy. You pick it up, but it's definitely not as light as you were expecting it to be.
Yeah, I can
We'll walk out about like 220 feet with it.
lift 570 pounds.
Oh yeah, it's just the size of it. You weren't expecting it to be 200
Decep-
something pounds.
Deceptively heavy.
Yeah,
It's probably half my size.
it's not small. And as like Tamperlay's like flexing and walking this thing along, Fireball's just like ooh, like doing like the muscle arm, and then
She's very strong.
I just use this, and he pulls out a wand and spins it to another lead block, and it just starts to levitate. And then he just starts pushing it along. It's a wand of levitating.
I need one of those.
And he just pushes it along next to Tamperlay.
Yeah, so we'll go about 220 feet out, between 220 and 250, in like as straight of a line as we possibly can without having too many things in the way, because it looks like we'd be going into the trees at that point.
It's that the trees aren't that far away. The trees are like 50 feet away, so you'd actually be going south in the backyards of all those houses.
Okay. Yep.
That's
that
fine.
sounds like a terrible idea, but okay.
Hey, when kids are excited to play with new toys.
Yeah. It's a terrible idea, but like that's not going to stop Chandra because, well,
But we're gonna do it.
yeah,
Towards the Iron Hearth, or
No.
like
No,
down the other way?
like this way,
No.
like
south.
this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if that's 50 feet, so we'd be probably right about like between the second and third house, I'd say.
It definitely gives off the vibes that all of a sudden Charger's going to turn to the left to possibly no one, and be like, "Hi, I'm Chandra Telena, and this is Jackass."
Yeah. So yeah, once we get it all set up, we'll go back over. And I'll load a round into the rifle, and I'm going to take a shot at it.
Safety.
I've
He
got
comes
my
over
glasses
with
on.
earplugs.
Oh, that's a good. Charger's so used to just not being able to hear shit.
Yeah.
What?
Boom.
Yeah. So put on, or I would tell Tamberlay to put on the glasses and put on the earmuffs.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Um,
If you fucking that one right now, I'm gonna laugh.
Me too.
All right, go ahead and roll for a hit.
All right, here it goes. First one.
You're gonna misfire. Now's the time.
10.
Is 3 a misfire? I think it is. 'Cause
If it's based on the bad news, I think it is.
I believe we said that you're gonna be starting with a 5 misfire score. He's reading. I don't know if we put it into the prototype rifle yet, but I believe I said that you were going to start with a 5 misfire, and then it was going to detract quickly. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, no, I'm reading.
Okay.
Missions.
No.
Because I believe I said between 1 and 2 was going to be... No, sorry. 4 and 5 was going to be, like, a simple fix.
Yeah. It was 5.
Yeah, 2 and 3 was going to be a little bit more of a fix, and 1 was like a oh shit. So everyone preps, gets their ears on, gets their eyes on. Chandra sets up, looking at the 2 lead blocks next to each other, and she's like, "I got this." Click. Huh? Oof. A delay fire.
Is that supposed to happen?
Nope.
There's just this smoking black cloud out of the front of the gun.
I'm gonna clear the misfire, and I'm gonna go for a second one.
All right.
So after probably 12 seconds.
Just like, hold on, guys.
Stupid piece of shit.
Let's go ahead and make your Tinker's check.
Yep. What's that?
That's what, intelligence plus proficiency?
Yeah. So. +3.
Okay, you're good. You crack open the bolt of it, and you see that the cartridge itself is like split down the middle. It
Yep.
looks like possibly a failure of the cartridge itself.
I'm gonna write that down in my notes, and I'm gonna set that aside, and I'll come back to that in a little bit. Loading the next cartridge, and I'm gonna shoot.
Go for it. There you go. A much smoother Taberley. You've heard the gun fire correctly quite a few times, so this sounds much more normal. But the giant blast, the delay, and then the thunk of it hitting the lead plate. And as soon as everyone, even with the hearing protection, it's not,
Not quite at all.
it's not grade A hearing protection. So there's still a little bit of ringing that happens behind it. But once the ringing sort of starts to die down, you just hear a woohoo from Fireball.
Did
Do you- Go ahead.
did the bullet make a dent?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you can see the warping from this far away.
Nice. Okay.
Do you want to give it a try?
Oh yeah.
I'm trusting that he paid attention pretty well. I will still walk him through the loading process and get it ready.
Okay.
And then I will show him how to pull the firing system.
Okay.
Because it's not just a trigger,
Yeah.
Valis.
Valis has already learned this.
Doesn't mean you know how it works.
You got
There's a
Doesn't
reason
mean
that-
I know how to work.
There's a reason that it's
But
not a
it's
trigger
not
anymore.
Just the one trigger.
He's got a
Really?
he got a 21 on his intelligence check.
Perfect. Cool. Then we
Alice
load it,
almost broke that too.
and I'll let him shoot it.
All right.
The Skinku has done something Valis has never done.
That's a hit.
What were we using again for a modifier?
It's Dex.
Okay, looking at his sheet.
Dex plus proficiency.
+4, +4.
Is he proficient though?
Yeah, I won't say he's proficient just yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So a 19 to hit.
That he didn't misfire.
Yep, that's true. Click, boom, and the delay before another doesn't quite ring out like, hitting an iron target or something like that.
Yeah.
But definitely leaves another impacted imprint that you guys can see even from this distance. And he just sits there and hasn't moved since the guns went off. It is just frozen there.
I'm writing down all the notes that I possibly could from what I observed of the shot.
And even after you finish your notes, he's still just standing there holding the gun.
What do you think?
You've killed the blacksmith. No.
Safety?
Click. His hand slides back and hits the safety.
Okay.
Then his head, almost like an owl, turns to face you guys. And then if you could see a bird smile, you just
I
see
get it.
That was awesome! Some like little kid's voice.
From Despicable Me.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he points the gun up in the air and like brings it over and hands it to you, Chandra. And he goes,
So many possibilities.
I see. That's the thing. I was trying to think of different metallurgical compounds that we could use, as well as levels of propellant in order to change the rounds.
I've got a lot of stuff to fuck with. We're gonna have a wonderful time.
Many more experiments need to be done.
Yes, absolutely. If you come up with any ideas, please feel free to send them my way. If you can, you're more than welcome to check my notes. If you'd like to copy them down, I can copy them down for you. Trust me, I will be back.
Oh, no need.
I've got what they call A photographic memory?
Oh, that's wonderful.
You come around more often. I'll have things ready when you return.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely.
And he just, like, with your gun in one arm, he kind of, like, takes your other hand and shakes it.
And I shake his hand right back.
Lots of soot being transferred between the two.
Yeah, that's fine. Also, if you're ever in need of assistance with anything, I'm quite familiar with a workshop and blacksmithing tools. So please feel free to ask.
Oh. Yes. When you come around, we can discuss the particulars.
Perfect.
Wonderful. He goes over to you, Tamperlane, shakes your hand.
Yeah, I'll shake it back.
2 + 2, I figured water.
Sure, I guess.
I just imagine that after shaking Tamberley's hand, her hand is covered in soot as well.
Yep. It blends in with his black feathers, but yes. Not only the soot from the gun, but from all the blacksmithing.
Yeah.
All right. We've got to head back to the hearth. But after that, I may be back. Well, we have class tomorrow. We'll be back
Only
soon.
tomorrow morning for like a half an hour. He said it wasn't going to take very long.
Oh, I might come back tomorrow.
Hey, before we leave, you wrote something down about one of your bullets.
Yes.
Did you want to talk to him about maybe making them a little bit stronger so they don't jam as much?
I mean, we could possibly. That could be something we can talk about tomorrow. Because I don't know if I'm gonna have to check and see if it was a failure in the casing, or if the casing was damaged by the ejector, or there could have been a couple of different things.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
About halfway through explaining it, Tamperlane is like, sorry I asked. Fuck.
All right.
I'm trying to be respectful. It's just really hard.
Tim, and you know what, Chandra, because of the fact that we've had a long ship's journey and we've also been together in party before, like, understands when, like, oh, okay, hold on, yep, said too much, like,
Yeah,
gave
over my head.
gave more details than I needed.
Tamperlane's eyes gloss over.
Unlike with Valis, where I will keep going and I will keep going until I've confused him to the point of where it causes him psychic damage.
But
Val's just sitting there, no more!
as you guys turn around to gather your things from inside his establishment, he waves you off and sees you goodbye. And as you leave,
One last
go ahead.
thing. Before we leave, this is literally how my brain's working, and with her, probably.
Mhm.
She goes, oh, one more thing. And she shows him the ideas, the plans she has for the workbench.
Okay.
And just like, is this something you think you could help me with?
Oh yeah, that's an easy one.
Awesome. Perfect. We can
And
come
see you
back and
next
discuss
time,
the
yo.
details. All right.
And as you guys disappear or leave the establishment and head out, you can't help but hear and see, because he's running between buildings right now. He's heading over to the lead blocks and is just inspecting the rounds that have impacted.
I'll have to ask him about that.
I was actually thinking about maybe visiting tomorrow after all this and he's done his part, maybe visiting the carpenters as well to see if they can help you with that bench.
That's a great idea.
And maybe able to work together to make it even better than just one or the other.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Thank you, Tamberley.
No problem. Wow. Y'all looked real excited. I haven't seen you smile that long in a really long time. Is your face okay?
Why wouldn't it be?
I know. I mean, smiling that hard for that long. You're not sore?
No, I smile quite often.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm reading my notes, when I'm reading a good book.
I'm just kidding.
When I'm reading
Oh.
a book about my notes.
When I'm reading other people's notes, if they're good.
Right?
When I'm reading other people's notes about my book of notes.
Yes.
That's when I'm most happy.
Mostly when she's reading.
Or
We'll
if Valis gets hurt.
Oh yes, then it's more of an internal just giggle fest.
I mean, actually, I feel like she gets more joy. Like she has like a separate book that she writes about things that she hopes will happen, Valis, and then check marks them off when they happen.
No,
It's-
it's the same book. It's just in like invisible ink going backwards through the pages.
One's a Valis bucket list, one's an actual list. Someone sees the words Valis bucket list and they're like, "Oh, are these the things Valis wants to do before he gets dead?"
Oh god, no! Oh god! How would that even
No.
work? Oh, ew!
What's your intelligence?
15, 16? Let me check.
I'm sure you have a cipher of some sort, don't you?
15. I have a what?
A cipher?
A shorthand, at least.
I could probably. I mean, I would assume that she has a like an engineering shorthand that she uses or something.
Yeah.
Something that definitely Valis would not understand.
Yeah.
Why
That
do all
would
these
be
words have numbers in them?
it would be something that she would have learned way early on when she found him going through his stuff,
It's just
Or-
lead speak.
going through her stuff.
Right. Writes in Latin with her left hand backwards.
No, it's just lead speak. That's all it is. Vowels for letters. Or letters for vowels, I should say. All right. So
Yes.
with the ladies leaving the blacksmith and heading back to the hearth, obviously not a very far journey. We will go ahead and end the session there as you guys are preparing to coalesce with the boys inside the hearth, and possibly getting up to any of the shenanigans that they may have done or Twunk has squashed while the ladies were away. And we will prep into dinner, where you guys will get to see the town a little bit more lively as far as individuals inside the hearth go, and possibly being able to mingle with some of the population here.
Fun.
We just get back and Twonk's walking out. I quit.
Fuck this. Not worth it.
I am taking my break.
He's like, I'm taking a cigarette break. Brings out like a 3-foot long cigarette.
Not my pig, not my farm.
So, end of session 1. I think we're gonna have some fun here. You guys have already started to establish some relationships and already started the gossip train going, so that's wonderful. Any questions before we go?
Nope.
Not yet.
Still early.
All right. Well, if you do have any questions, feel free to message me, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If I don't talk to y'all before then, you guys have a great week, and we will be back Sunday.
Yes.
2.
See you then.
Have a great night, everyone.
Two.
All right.
Group 1 will be
Night.
back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.
Yep, group 1 tomorrow night.
All right.
And thank you for all of you that stayed with us. I hope you have a great night. Tomorrow at 9 Pacific Standard, Group 1, the Fable Chasers, continue on with their quest to find lost Luke's remains. Hopefully you come and hang out with us. Have a great night, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.